The following is a presentation of Baldwin Sports Live, your home for live coverage of the Baldwin Bulldogs. Baldwin Sports Live is presented by Hayden Outdoors Real Estate, the brand that sells the land. Learn more at haydenoutdoors.com. Also brought to you by Farm Bureau Financial Services, Kelly Neufeld, Baldwin State Bank, Codiano State Farm Insurance, Heartland Plumbing, Lamb Roberts Price Funeral Home, One Choice Heating and Air Conditioning, Trindle Lumber Company, Oral Surgery Kansas, Hers Incorporated, Rice Precision Manufacturing, The Bullpen, Baldwin City Recreation Commission, New Frontier Tax and Business Services, the Lumberyard Arts Center, Jobats, Baldwin City Community Newspaper, and by the Baldwin City Chamber of Commerce. This is Baldwin Sports Live.
Good evening from Baldwin City, where it's the season opener tonight for the Baldwin Bulldogs as they host the Paola Panthers here on Baldwin Sports Live. The pregame show is presented by Baldwin State Bank. Personal service from people who care. That's what you get at your hometown community bank. Baldwin State Bank. Whether it's personal finances, business money management, loans and credit, or savings for retirement, go see Baldwin State Bank. For over 120 years, they've helped serve our community. Enjoy a better banking experience with your friends and neighbors at the Baldwin State Bank. Well, lots of unknowns, as is every season when we start a new journey, and that's what we certainly have here today for both these teams. The Paola Panthers, they lost several key contributors from a year ago, including a second-team All-Stater in Kate Ediger. The Bulldogs, similar fashion, losing an honorable mention All-State guard in Riley Smith. So both teams will be looking to replace their leading scorers and more from a year ago, and that's the beauty of high school sports. There's always the next man up, in this case, the next woman up to take those places. I'm Bryce Kessler. I'm joined tonight by Caleb Butler as we also say welcome to the Paola fans watching tonight. A little dual broadcast here. So the Paola fans, you're going to have to bear with us. You're going to get the Baldwin broadcast in terms of the graphics package and all of that. But you've got a familiar voice on the broadcast tonight. Caleb Butler over here with us tonight as well. So Caleb, excited for a new basketball season to tip off here tonight.
Absolutely. What a time. After having all that football stuff, Paola has been off for a month. It's like, where'd everybody go? Well, we're back now. Brand new sport, brand new season. Beautiful night to get it started.
Well, we'll talk a little bit more about the matchup as we keep rolling here on the Baldwin State Bank pregame show. It's Paola in town to take on the Baldwin Bulldogs tonight on opening night of the 2022-2023 high school basketball season. More of the Baldwin State Bank pregame show right after this.
At Baldwin State Bank, we love being part of the community we serve. Our roots run deep in Baldwin City, and our commitment runs deeper. Whether it's that dream house you can't wait to call home, or the trust of your personal finances, both present and future, we're here to serve you, our customers, our neighbors. Baldwin State Bank, proud supporter of the Baldwin Bulldogs for more than 100 years and counting. Come see us downtown or online at baldwinstatebank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hayden Outdoors Real Estate has proudly been serving the Midwest since 1976, covering 29 states and over $1.3 billion in annual sales. Chad and Penny Sheldon are some of the top producing brokers from Baldwin City, Kansas, selling farms, ranches, rural homes, and recreational real estate throughout Kansas. Their knowledge, passion, and expertise will help make your next real estate transaction an excellent experience. Contact Chad or Penny today by phone at 785-821-2666 or by email at shad@haydenoutdoors.com.
Trindle Lumber Company is the go-to stop for every do-it-yourselfer and professional contractor. They carry a wide variety of plumbing, electrical, and hardware products, along with a vast selection of windows, doors, and paint. Their full-service drive-through lumberyard has what you need for every project and offers free estimates and professional delivery. At Trindle Lumber Company, you get the right products with the best service. Stop by at 1516 South Main in Ottawa or call 785-242-8144.
Welcome back to the Baldwin State Bank pregame show as we get set for the opening tip of the first game of the season. Paola and Baldwin coming up here on Baldwin Sports Live as well as Paola Sports Live tonight. No previous game to look back on. We'll take a look back at the last season for these two teams. Paola 13-9 a year ago. Baldwin 10-11 last season as they met way back on opening day of last year as well. Last time these two teams played. Paola leads the series since about 2006. It looks like I have those records, 16-14. So it's been a relatively back and forth battle between these two teams. Last year certainly didn't disappoint on opening night. It was a 4-point game. Paola edging Baldwin 58-54. It was Paola's first win over Baldwin since February 3rd of 2017, snapping a 5-game Baldwin winning streak in this head-to-head series. So we'll see if the Bulldogs are able to get back in the win column in this head-to-head matchup with Paola, or whether the Panthers, fresh off their first win since 17 over Baldwin, can make it 2 in a row. That's what's on tap here tonight from Baldwin. More of the Baldwin State Bank pregame show. When we come back, we'll take a look at some of the matchups and players to watch in this game as Paola and Baldwin battle on opening night here on Baldwin Sports Live and Paola Sports Live.
Lamb Roberts Price Funeral Home is honored to be your choice when the difficult time comes to plan a lasting tribute for your loved ones. There to guide you through the process from beginning to end with each family's unique traditions and beliefs in mind. Visit lamb-roberts.com to see all of the services offered, including their online pre-planning tool, or call 785-594-3644 to visit with the caring professionals at Baldwin City's only locally owned funeral service and cremation service provider, Lamb Roberts Price Funeral Home.
Up your lawn care game at Hers Inc. in Spring Hill. We have one of the area's largest and most diverse selections of lawnmowers, including top brands like Altos, Bobcat, Gravely, Dixie Chopper, and Red Max. Quality built machines for any size job. And when you get your mower at Hers, we offer full service and repairs covered by your warranty. From the backyard to the back 40, the all-star lineup of mowers at Hers will make you the captain of the lawn. See the full lineup at hersinc.net. Call 913-247-3530 or just stop on by.
Dr. Philip Harvey at Oral Surgery Kansas is a proud supporter of the Baldwin Bulldogs. Dr. Harvey and his staff wish all of the Bulldogs the best of luck this year as you continue to make Baldwin City proud. Oral Surgery Kansas provides personalized, gentle, comprehensive patient care for a wide range of oral surgery procedures. To learn more, visit oralsurgerykansas.com or call 785-843-5490. Oral Surgery Kansas, cheering on the Baldwin Bulldogs.
Welcome back to the Baldwin State Bank pregame show. It's Paola and Baldwin coming up here on Baldwin Sports Live. Simulcast tonight over on Paola Sports Live as well. Look at the matchup here for the visiting Paola Panthers. They lose a couple of starters from a year ago. The biggest loss that they'll feel will certainly be the loss of second-team All-Stater Kate Ediger, but perhaps another Ediger ready to step up and fill some of those shoes of the older Ediger, as Abby Ediger, a sophomore, we expect to see some time and see some impact for this Paola roster this year. But they do bring back 3 starters, and that is led by Ava Kale, Maggie Kauk, and Maddie Pitzer. Those 3 all expected to play very big roles for Jamie Butler this year for the Panthers. I'll throw it to Caleb here for a second as well as we talk about this Paola team and the matchups to watch in this game for the Panthers. What should we have our eyes on here tonight, Caleb?
Well, you should obviously have your eyes on those 3 returning senior starters for the Panthers. Ava Kale is a beast down low. She can really body people around. She can make some stuff happen. Maggie Kauk is super athletic, probably the best athlete on this team, bar none, in my personal opinion. And then Maddie Pitzer, really good at distributing the ball, getting the ball to the playmakers. The big key, though, is the Panthers only returned 4 players from last season's roster that played significant minutes last year. The 3 seniors, as we said, in Pitzer, Kauk, and Kale. The other one is the point guard, Ella Foster. Everybody else is pretty much a new face. A key component to watch in this one is Anna Kane. Anna Kane was a tremendous volleyball player. She's very athletic. She's going to help Ava Kale down low. It should be a very entertaining contest if it's anything like it was on opening day last year. you're in for a treat.
Yeah, it was a good one last year, 58-54. Paola on their home floor, the victors in that one. Meanwhile, the Baldwin Bulldogs, they also lose their leading scorer from a year ago in graduated senior honorable mention All-State guard Riley Smith, also gone to graduation. Their top post player in Izzy Harvey, but they do return 3 starters led by senior guard Carly Neufeld, who went off for a 24-point night against Paola last year, averaged 11 points per game, and is the top outside shooter for this Baldwin team. And we expect a big jump for Neufeld now in her senior season, and she is joined by a couple of returning starters in Alyssa Reichert and Marin Frost as well, and several others that saw significant minutes last year. Emma Kate Lang, Carly Toot, Bailey Smith, all played significant minutes a year ago. So perhaps when you just look at experience, Baldwin maybe have a slight edge over what Paola brings to the table in this season opener. But again, both teams having to replace their leading scorer from a year ago, and it's high school basketball, man. Every year brings with it new adventures, and that's what we are in store for here tonight. So it's Baldwin and Paola coming up in the season opener. You're watching the Baldwin State Bank pregame show. When we come back, we'll get you the Codiano State Farm game plan for the night. It's the Bulldogs and the Panthers coming up here on Baldwin Sports Live, and shared simulcast with our friends in Paola tonight on Paola Sports Live.
With Heartland Plumbing, you get full-service plumbing from a real plumber, not a sales guy who's just there to fix a leak. Heartland Plumbing sets appointments they hold true to, not an inconvenient block of time they might be there. With a strong reputation and years of quality service, Heartland Plumbing has the tools and the people to get your plumbing job done on time the first time. Give them a call at 913-856-5846. Serving every big town and small town around, residential and commercial. That's Heartland Plumbing, the plumber you can open your door to.
State Farm Insurance Agent Codiano is ready to be there for you every step of the way. From starting policies out to the day disaster strikes, Cody and his team are ready to help. Cody strives to be different, doing things the other people don't and other agencies won't, helping more people in more ways. That's Codiano State Farm. Call 785-594-0270 or stop by at 208 Baker Street for a cup of coffee and a free quote for your auto, home, or life insurance with Codiano, your local State Farm insurance agent in Baldwin City.
For unbeatable service from a company you can trust, there's only one choice. Clint Davis and the One Choice Heating and Air Conditioning team have the expertise you need when it comes to the comfort of your family. Not only will they get the job done right, but they'll explain the preventative maintenance needed to avoid those costly emergency repairs. To schedule a free quote, call 785-393-9329 and join the Preferred Maintenance Club for special discounts. One Choice Heating and Air Conditioning, the one and only choice for the comfort of your family.
Welcome back to the Baldwin State Bank pregame show as we're getting you set for tip-off here on opening night. It's Paola and Baldwin coming up, and it's time for our Codiano State Farm Insurance game plan. Join Codiano and State Farm Insurance and welcome Santa to town coming up on Thursday, December 8th at the Baldwin City Golf Course from 5 to 8 p.m. You can take free photos with the big guy, enjoy free hot chocolate, cookie decorating, and more. Santa is coming to town Thursday, December 8th with Codiano State Farm Insurance, 5 to 8 p.m. at the Baldwin City Golf Course. So there we see our State Farm Insurance game plan tonight. Established Neufeld on offense. A more assertive Carly Neufeld, I think, is going to be the biggest key for the Bulldogs this year. I think she'll need to be the catalyst for this team this year. We know she can shoot, but she'll need to create as well as this leader of this Baldwin offense and more. So establish Neufeld on offense and then turn some defense to offense. That was what the Bulldogs were best at a year ago, when they could force the turnovers, convert that into layups. So those are our keys tonight for the Bulldogs and our State Farm Insurance Codiano game plan. That's going to do it for the Baldwin State Bank pregame show. Pregame show brought to you by your friends and neighbors down at the Baldwin State Bank. Personal service from people who care. That's what you get at your hometown community bank at Baldwin State Bank. Personal finances, business money management, loans and credit, or savings for retirement. For over 120 years, they've helped serve our community, and they're going to be there for that and more at the Baldwin State Bank. Your starting lineups and the opening tip-off coming up next here on Baldwin Sports Live. It's Paola and Baldwin, the season opener, coming up next.
When choosing a bank, wouldn't you prefer doing business with a local institution with years of commitment to our community? That's Baldwin State Bank. For more than 100 years, we've been providing products and services specifically tailored to our friends in Baldwin City. Whether it's a free checking account, savings for retirement, or your next loan, we'll be here. Because our roots are here. Baldwin State Bank, proud supporter of the Baldwin Bulldogs. Come see us downtown or online at baldwinstatebank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Kelly Neufeld and his team at Farm Bureau Financial Services are there to help you protect what matters most in your life. From insurance plans customized to fit everything you need covered to comprehensive financial planning to help you achieve your goals both present and future. Kelly works uniquely with you face to face to gain confidence in your financial well-being. Call 785-594-1055 to set up a meeting with Kelly Neufeld at Farm Bureau Financial Services in Baldwin City. It's your future. Let's protect it.
Hayden Outdoors Real Estate has proudly been serving the Midwest since 1976, covering 29 states and over $1.3 billion in annual sales. Chad and Penny Sheldon are some of the top producing brokers from Baldwin City, Kansas, selling farms, ranches, rural homes, and recreational real estate throughout Kansas. Their knowledge, passion, and expertise will help make your next real estate transaction an excellent experience. Contact Chad or Penny today by phone at 785-821-2666 or by email at shad@haydenoutdoors.com.
Hey, great party.
Oh, thanks. Here you go. One hamburger, medium well.
This is well done.
No. That's medium well.
What? Are you calling me a liar? This thing is practically burned.
That's it. You're not going to come to my house and tell me how to cook a hamburger.
You wouldn't do it there.
You gotta be crazy.
So don't do it here. Sportsmanship. It's up to you.
Welcome back inside Baldwin City High School. We are in town for the season opener tonight, the Paola Panthers and the Baldwin Bulldogs. It is time for tonight's starting lineups. They are brought to you by the Lumberyard Arts Center. As you take a look there, it'll be Foster, Pitzer, Kauk, Kale, and Mead for the Panthers. Pitzer, Kauk, and Kale, all three returning starters from a year ago. And for the Baldwin Bulldogs, Frost, Neufeld, and Smith. The guards, Reichard, a versatile player, inside, outside, very athletic, and Imikate Lang will start in the middle for the Bulldogs. Neufeld, their top scorer from a year ago, averaged 11 points per game. Reichard was their third leading scorer a season ago. She averaged 6.5. Frost also just under 6.5 points a year ago for the Bulldogs. Baldwin is coached by Eric Toot and assisted by Kara Lee and Chad Scobie. Toot in his first season now as the head coach of the Bulldogs after many years of the sideline as an assistant under Bob Martin, who retired after this past season. For the Panthers, head coach is Jamie Butler, assisted by Tate Schumert and Megan Roth. Those are your starting lineups. They are again brought to you by the Lumberyard Arts Center. As you take a look at their upcoming lineup, don't miss out on all of these great events. Live music, arts and crafts, unique experiences, youth and adult classes, and so much more offered at the Lumberyard Arts Center. Check it out at lumberyardartscenter.org. Create, play, and innovate at your creative home in Baldwin City, the Lumberyard Arts Center. So they will finish giving the starting lineups out here to the crowd in attendance tonight in Baldwin for this much anticipated season opener for both of the Baldwin teams. I can speak for certainly. They are excited to get this new season underway, and I imagine, Caleb, the feeling is much the same for Paola. Everybody excited to get this new season underway here tonight.
Oh, no doubt about it, and especially for the ladies as they went 13-9, the best season they've had in quite some time. So they're looking to build off that momentum, see if they can have another season like that or possibly even better this season. The one thing that's been a bugaboo for the Panthers, especially as of late, has been the turnovers. Can the Panthers limit those turnovers and have more efficient basketball early in the season especially? If they can do that, they can win a lot of games. But if they continue to turn the ball over, it's going to be a long year. We'll see what happens here on the opening night, though.
Good test here on opening night. The opening tip-off is brought to you by Baldwin City Recreation Commission. Mark your calendar for the start of the annual Jingle Bell Rock. The hunt begins Monday, December 5th, with clues released daily. Follow Baldwin City Rec on social media and on their brand new website, baldwinrec.org. $300 cash prize for the person who finds the Baldwin City Jingle Bell Rock. And we are underway here in Baldwin with one jump ball to be followed by, of course, another jump ball.
Might as well just reset it. Reset the clock to 8 minutes. There's really no play happened there.
So Reichert and Pitzer will jump center again. This time it's Paola that controls the opening tip, and right away they get a nice look underneath from Meade. A couple of good looks for Paola on the opening possession, but they come up empty, and a jump ball will send it over to Baldwin. So Paola certainly executed well off the jump ball, but can't convert. And now we get our first look at the Baldwin offense as Carly Neufeld brings it into the front court. Their leading returning scorer at 11 points per game, and a really good outside shooter for the Bulldogs, and she may get a chance right away, but it is blocked out of bounds. Good recovery defensively there by Maggie Kauk, who you mentioned, Caleb, is probably bar none the best athlete, and she shows off that athleticism right there.
Absolutely. Came from the opposite side of the court to fly up and block that shot out of bounds. Just tremendous athleticism by Kauk.
Inbound to Reichert, and Alyssa will go to work off that left lane line for the lefty, but not able to knock it down, and then losing it out of bounds is Kauk. So the Bulldogs will get a second chance at it here and really make it a third chance. Again, they go into Reichert. Kauk defending and forces another miss from Alyssa Reichert, out of bounds off of the hand of Emma Kate Lang. And both teams get decent looks to start the night, but both teams come up empty, and some little token pressure here for the Bulldogs, as that has been kind of what they've hung their hat on, forcing turnovers in that full court pressure, turning defense to offense. Bailey Smith out there closely defending on Maddie Pitzer, one of the three returning starters for the Panthers. Paola works it right to Kauk. Meade up top now. Baldwin matched up on the perimeter. And Emma Kate Lang trying to go for that steal, ends up bumping into Ava Kale, and Lang will pick up the personal foul. It's her first and the team's first.
Panthers got bailed out there. Not much flow offensively there. Way too far outside the three-point line. Got to try to get that ball inside and make Baldwin move around.
No score as we are just over a minute into this opening quarter. Both teams still trying to get their sea legs under them here in this season opener. Foster now from the left wing. Poked free a moment there by Frost and deflected out by Reichert. It stays with Paola.
And again, that was a common theme right there last year. Just tough passes. Got to try to do some back doors or try to move around a little bit better. See if you can get more efficient offense.
Got a dual broadcast for you tonight. We're on both Baldwin Sports Live and Paola Sports Live, as this three is teed up from straight away by Kale. Reichert the rebound for Baldwin. Still no score as Bailey Smith has it out of the right wing for the Bulldogs. Up top to Frost, quickly working around to Neufeld. Little shot fake, shuffles inside to Lang, and the basket goes for Emma Kate Lang. And a foul on Maggie Kauk will give Emma Kate a chance at a three-point play with the game's first points.
Definitely the best offense of the night for both teams. Emma Kate Lang looked like almost traveled with it as she had nobody initially, so she tried to do the lean back. Nobody was there, but fortunately for Lang, she's able to get the and one.
At the free throw line, Lang was a 35% free throw shooter only last season, and she comes up empty on that attempt, so the three-point play not there for her, but it's still a 2-0 lead for Baldwin with 6 minutes left to play in the first quarter. Paola got a couple of really good looks off the opening tip, but have not had much in the way of good offensive looks since then. Here's a decent job getting it underneath there to Meade from Kale. And another miss from close. Good job by Foster scrapping for the offensive rebound. Kauk's three off the mark and a tie up in the paint. This will stay here with Paola. 5:37 to go in the quarter and a 2-0 Baldwin lead.
Panthers doing an excellent job on the offensive glass, really going after the glass hard. Baldwin's got to start putting bodies on people. Otherwise, Paola's eventually going to get something cooking on these offensive second and third chances.
Kauk inbounds. And they want to go right back into her. Wide open, deep in the paint, but it won't go for Kauk. Offensive rebound, another one of those boards. Caleb, you just talked about the offensive rebounding, and there's another one for Maggie Kauk. A foul then on Baldwin. And it is called on Neufeld. It's her first and the team's second. So yet another try here for Paola, who has had the iron unkind to them so far, and they throw it away on the inbound play. And for a moment there, the official was checking to see whether there was a tip, and they say there was not, so it's Baldwin basketball on the Paola turnover.
It's just been a common flow of this game so far. The Panthers just really stagnant offensively. Have had a couple good looks inside, just can't be able to finish. Just got to find a way to slow the game down and get a better look.
Neufeld misses the long two, and a loose ball foul against Baldwin. And this will be charged to Alyssa Reichert. She picks up her first. That's the third team foul for Baldwin. And the Bulldogs will go to the bench for the first time tonight. Carly Toot, a 5'6" senior, checks in and replaces Reichert after that foul on Alyssa.
See if the Panthers can get some flow here offensively on this possession.
They've had a handful of looks from 2 feet away, and they have not been able to get one to drop so far. Now they turn it over for the second straight possession. Baldwin looking to capitalize in transition. Neufeld gives it back outside to Smith, and they'll set up the half-court offense. There's one bucket on this end, though, so that's the good news for Paolas. They have not had Baldwin pull away in the opening minutes because both teams still trying to find their way offensively. There's a push called on Jade Mead. Second foul on Paola. It's Jade's first. And off the bench now comes a freshman guard, familiar last name, Chloe Neufeld, the younger sister of Carly Neufeld, checks in for the first time. So both Neufelds in the lineup now, along with Smith, Toot, and Emma Kate Lang. It was a pair of Smiths last year in Riley and Bailey Smith that shared the floor, and now they have the Neufeld sisters out there. And here's Chloe to her sister Carly, and she'll back it out. Chloe out of the corner. Nice find up top. Smith quickly gives it up. Neufeld deep three. And it's rebounded by Mead for Paola. Then she throws it away on the outlet. Chloe Neufeld the steal and draws the foul on Jade Mead, who picks up perhaps more of a frustration foul there. And unfortunately for Jade, that's her second.
And she's likely going to come out of the game there just not very firm with the ball. Got the rebound cleanly and just assumed Foster was going to be there for the outlet. Threw it right to Neufeld. And now picks up her second foul. She's probably out the rest of the quarter.
So she indeed exits, and in comes a sophomore, 5'9" sophomore, Abby Ediger has checked in. And now another foul against Paola. This one charged to Maddie Pitzer, as both teams have now, or rather that's the fourth team foul against Paola here in the opening minutes.
3 quick fouls in succession there for the Panthers.
4:22 to play, first quarter. Still just 2-0 Baldwin. A bucket from Emma Kate Lang, who has it here. The only points that this game has seen as we near the midway point of the opening quarter. Neufeld jumps and passes inside to Lang, triple teamed and travels.
And threw it right into danger there. Nothing Kate Lang could do there except walk with it. Panthers force another turnover, but they have been inefficient offensively so far. Still in the game, however, down just a bucket.
Lang checks out. Alyssa Reichert, 5'10" junior, back in for Baldwin. 2-0 Baldwin, 4 minutes left to play, opening period. Maggie Kalk off the dribble drive, cut off by Smith. And now Ella Foster will set things back up for the Panthers. 13-win season a year ago. Nice backdoor cut, feeds Kalk. Set up on the assist by Kale, and we're tied at 2.
Definitely the best offensive output there for the Panthers. Really well done on the backdoor cut, the kiss off the glass.
Neufeld pulls up off the dribble and connects. So Carly Neufeld led the team with 42 three-pointers last year, and she knocks down her first of what is expected to be many here on this season. Tie up just across mid-court, and it's another jump ball. This time the possession arrow favors the Bulldogs.
And Ediger a little slow getting up, holding her head a little bit. Looked like collided heads with another Baldwin player there. Hopefully she's all right. She looks okay for now.
And this day and age of head injuries and everybody's so cautious, you hate to see any type of head contact, but it appears that she is going to stay in the lineup. And now Maggie Kalk is going to come out because I think she may have gotten scratched, has some blood perhaps. Looked like they were looking at her shoulder, and they're going to maybe get a little tape on her there to stop some bleeding from a scratch. So back in for the Panthers, or in the first time I should say, comes Jocelyn Fuller. Now Frost out of the corner, 3 off the back iron. Battle for the rebound and a strong takeaway by Kale for the board for Paola.
That's one thing the Panthers do well for themselves. They rebound the ball effectively. It's just offensively they're so out of sorts right now. Need to slow the game down and get into a flow.
Foster travels to turn it over for the 4th time in this opening quarter for Paola. 5-2 Baldwin lead. 3-pointer, a couple of trips back for Neufeld, and now Frost trying to dial up a 3 out of the corner. Rebounded by Jocelyn Fuller. And Paola turns Baldwin away, 1 and done. Outside right, Pitzer trying to work off that screen from Kale. Nothing there on the roll, and it comes back over to Foster on the left wing. An illegal screen called on Abby Ediger.
And just like I said to begin the game, the turnovers have been a problem for the Panthers the last few years especially. I've lost count how many turnovers that is now for the Panthers. 5 already in this first quarter. Just got to settle down and get into the game a little bit. It's going a little too fast right now. The energy is a little too high for the Panthers right now.
They get Kalk back at the lineup. They got her cleaned up, a little tape on that back of the right shoulder there. And also Emma Kate Lynn comes back in for Baldwin. Yeah, 5 turnovers. I guess if you want to be the glass half full type, that's at least a dead ball turnover. No chance for a transition bucket the other way for Baldwin. And so far that's been the majority of the Paola turnovers, as now Baldwin gives one back. And Bailey Smith, after a quick breather, right back into the lineup for Baldwin.
There may be more combined turnovers so far than combined points in this first quarter.
It's dead even, actually. 5-2 in points, 5-2 the other way in turnovers. And a foul on the Bulldogs. I believe it's going to be Chloe Neufeld who gets tagged with this one. We'll see.
Good aggressive drive by Ella Foster, drawing the foul and getting to the free throw line. The first free throws of the year for either team. See if Foster can knock down a couple after this timeout.
And yep, first a timeout taken by Eric Tooth, first-year head coach, but a long-time assistant for the Bulldogs. He'll spend his first time out here. Baldwin Sports Live is presented by Hayden Outdoors Real Estate, the #1 land brokerage for farm, ranch, and recreational properties. If you're looking to find your next dream property, or maybe you're thinking about listing, go with the best in the business. Your local Baldwin City brokers, Shad and Penny Sheldon at Hayden Outdoors. If you also desire an escape to country living right now, they've got the perfect modern farmhouse available just outside of the city limits of Baldwin. A newly remodeled home sits on just under 4 acres of tree-lined, undeveloped farm ground. Check out that beautiful property and more at HaydenOutdoors.com. Well, 5-2 Baldwin lead here in this opening quarter with 2:10 to play in the period. Ella Foster will be at the free throw line for a couple of shots here for Paola coming out of this timeout. The foul was indeed on Chloe Neufeld. It's her first, and the Bulldogs' 4th team foul of this opening quarter. So here's Foster, 5'4" senior. Unable to knock down that first freebie. Back in comes Jocelyn Fuller for Paola. And Kalk will exit the Paola lineup. Panthers 13-9 a year ago. Baldwin 10-11 last season. They played a game right down to the wire on opening night a year ago, December 3rd of 21, a 58-54 Paola win in Paola. 1 of 2 at the line there for Foster makes this a 2-point game with 2 minutes left to play in the opening quarter. Baldwin has Carly Neufeld on the bench right now, their leading returning scorer, so see where they go to try to create some offense. Here's the younger Neufeld, Chloe, with a quick first step, but perhaps too quick as she is called for the travel. And that will be the 3rd Baldwin turnover of this opening period as Maggie Kalk checks right back in for Paola.
Both teams really struggling to get any flow offensively. 8 combined turnovers in the first 7 minutes of this ballgame.
2 field goals for Baldwin. Just the 1 field goal so far for Paola. Foster veers off away to the top of the circle and gives to Kalk. Backdoor cut and a nice pass. Kalk hit Pitzer in stride, but unable to finish the layup. May have gotten hit on the back of the head a little bit. She kind of grabbed at the back of her head on that missed layup, but no call, and then a foul called on Kale on the loose ball. So that is her first, 6th team foul on Paola. Carly Neufeld checks back in for Baldwin. Jocelyn Fuller back in as Jamie Butler already appears to be kind of going offense for defense substitutions with Kalk, who picked up an earlier foul in this quarter. And with a minute 15 to play in the period, it's a 5-3 Baldwin lead. The way this game has started, if either team can start knocking down some shots, they may be on their way to opening up a comfortable lead. Both teams still trying to figure things out here in this season opener. Not uncommon for the first night out of the season. Jump ball, and this will head back the other way as Baldwin turns it over now for the 4th time.
And that's like 3 straight possessions that Baldwin's turned the ball over. Panthers really harassing the Bulldogs defensively. It's just 3 made field goals in this first quarter. For a guy that likes offense, this is ugly right now. It's still a long way to go.
Kalk, tough shot, but she draws the foul. And Maggie will go to the free throw line for Paola. Yeah, both teams, you feel like probably right now are sitting there saying, gosh, we've had our chances. Paola's had numerous attempts down near the bucket and haven't been able to convert. Baldwin, their forced early 5 Paola turnovers, a chance to capitalize off turnovers. Couldn't do it. Now they've got on their own kind of turnover string or run here. So both teams kind of asking themselves, maybe what if so far in this first quarter.
It's like both teams are trying too hard to get a comfortable lead right now. Both teams really struggling offensively. But we got a 5-5 game after 2 big free throws there for Kalk.
So Kalk with 4 of the 5 now for Paola in this first quarter as Carly Toot checks back in for the Baldwin Bulldogs. Kalk replaced once more by Fuller for Paola. So right where we started, all even with under a minute to play in this opening period. See how Baldwin attacks this final 40 seconds, how patient they want to be, and perhaps hold for that final look. Toot outside to Reichert. Alyssa gets herself into some trouble and travels. So they have caught Paola in the turnover department now as both teams have turned it over 5 times. And as you mentioned last time down, I think it was about 3 in a row. Now make that 4 possessions in a row. The Bulldogs have given it up.
And here's an opportunity for the Panthers to get their first lead of the night with the last shot here if they can run efficient offense and get a good look before the quarter ends.
Kalk has 4 of the 5. She has it here on the right elbow. And knocked free by Frost. A Paola turnover will give that final opportunity of the quarter. Now back to Baldwin, under 10 seconds to go. Smith on the wing, down to 5. Wants to get it back to Neufeld. It's knocked out of bounds with 2.4 on the clock. So plenty of time here for Baldwin to run something good off the sideline inbound and get a decent look as Jamie Butler will bring off the bench Brylan Wicker. And Ediger also comes back in for Paola to defend this final play. 2.4 to go in the quarter. Inbound to Reichert, deflected away from behind by Pitzer, and that's how the quarter ends. Even in the turnovers, even on the scoreboard. 5-5 after 1 here in Baldwin on Baldwin Sports Live and simulcast tonight on Paola Sports Live.
Up your lawn care game at Hers Inc. in Spring Hill. We have one of the area's largest and most diverse selections of lawnmowers, including top brands like Altos, Bobcat, Gravely, Dixie Chopper, and Red Max. Quality built machines for any size job. And when you get your mower at Hers, we offer full service and repairs covered by your warranty. From the backyard to the back 40, the all-star lineup of mowers at Hers will make you the captain of the lawn. See the full lineup at hersinc.net. Call 913-247-3530 or just stop on by.
For unbeatable service from a company you can trust, there's only one choice. Clint Davis and the One Choice Heating and Air Conditioning team have the expertise you need when it comes to the comfort of your family. Not only will they get the job done right, but they'll explain the preventative maintenance needed to avoid those costly emergency repairs. To schedule a free quote, call 785-393-9329 and join the Preferred Maintenance Club for special discounts. One Choice Heating and Air Conditioning, the one and only choice for the comfort of your family.
Baldwin Sports Live is presented by Hayden Outdoors Real Estate. And we are headed to the second quarter here tonight in the season opener. Not so unexpected. Both teams trying to still kind of find their way. That is usually somewhat the norm in these early season ball games, Caleb, as I'm joined by Caleb Butler tonight. I'm Bryce Kessler here on Baldwin Sports Live, simulcast on Paola Sports Live for you this evening as well. And both teams certainly showed that in that first quarter. 6 turnovers apiece, 5 points apiece. So I guess wipe it all away, and we'll play a 3-quarter game tonight.
That's right. Well, usually when you have more combined turnovers and more combined fouls than combined points in a game, it ain't going to bode well for you. So maybe a whole different ball game now that first quarter's out of the way. See if we can have more efficient offense from both sides in this second quarter.
Carly Neufeld with it for the Bulldogs. Up top to Samantha Scraper, who's in for the first time. This is Bailey Smith on a drive. Step through to get around Kale, and a finish by Bailey Smith.
Tremendous body control by Bailey Smith, going up and under and spinning that ball off the glass to get the first points of the second quarter for the Bulldogs.
7-5 lead to Baldwin, Kauk, Ediger, Foster, Pitzer, and Kale, the 5 of the floor for Paola. Three-pointer is strong out of the corner by Foster, rebounded by Carly Toot. Toot, Neufeld, Scraper, Smith, and Lang for Baldwin. A 7-5 Bulldog lead and a 7th Baldwin turnover as that pass went right through the midst of Sam Scraper and out of bounds. Chloe Neufeld will return for Baldwin. Caleb mentioned the fouls as well. Baldwin will be in the bonus on the next Paola foul. Baldwin still 1 foul to give as we start this second quarter. Kale left all alone, fires up a 3, too strong, rebounded by Toot.
Back-to-back 2 good looks to start the second quarter for the Panthers, just didn't knock them down.
Inside to Lang, and Emma Kate Lang makes a nice move towards the baseline, uses that glass up there to bank one in, and it's a 4-point Baldwin lead with 6.5 to play in the second quarter. And a foul on Neufeld, who not only gets called for the foul, but took the worst of the fall as well. Ends up on the floor. Got her feet kind of tangled up after reaching in, committing the foul. That's the second on the freshman, Chloe Neufeld. And the 6th Baldwin team foul. So Chloe will stay in the game with that second foul. Toot checks out, and Alyssa Reichert has come back in for the Bulldogs. That pass underneath by Foster is too tall for Kale and thrown out of bounds.
That's the right idea by Foster, just a little too much on that pass as Kale was there, had the position on the defender, as she had the defender up the lane, just a little strong on the pass.
It's a 9-5 Baldwin lead. We were tied at 5 after the first quarter, but the Bulldogs have had a couple of nice offensive possessions to start this second quarter. Smith, drive and kick. Chloe Neufeld out of the corner, and she is fouled on a 3-point try as Abby Ediger fouls the 3-point shooter, the cardinal sin of defending on the perimeter, and 3 shots coming up for Chloe Neufeld.
Like you said, the cardinal sin of a defensive player. You cannot foul a jump shooter, especially shooting a 3. Now she gets 3 free ones at the free throw line.
First trip to the line for Chloe Neufeld, and the first varsity points for the freshman guard as she knocks down that free throw. And that has allowed Baldwin now to double up the Panthers early on in this second quarter. Long way to go, though, as the second free throw is left short by Neufeld. In comes Jade Mead for Paola. And Ediger, after picking up that second foul, will check out of the lineup for Paola.
It's now 2 Panthers with 2 fouls apiece.
So Neufeld takes advantage and knocks down 2 of the 3. And Baldwin leads it 11-5 with 6:03 to play in the second.
6-0 run for the Bulldogs have opened up this lead for Baldwin. Panthers need a bucket.
Foster almost looked like she may have double dribbled there, but kept that hand off of the ball. Both teams have had their fair share of turnovers early on, as there's a nice offensive possession and a 3-point opportunity coming Paola's way as Kale made the nice high-low pass into Maggie Kauk, who converts and a chance to make it a 3-point play for the senior Kauk.
That was definitely the best offensive possession for the Panthers tonight. Tremendous high-low from Kale to Kauk, just couldn't convert the 3-point play.
They end that 6-0 Baldwin run, though, with the bucket. And it's 11-7 with 5:40 left to play in the second quarter. Reichert into the corner to Smith. And now Carly wants Reichert to come out and set a screen for him. Lob back to Smith in the corner. Frost. Pass inside to Reichert is deflected and stolen. Kalk leads the break. Does not take it all the way in, though. Stopped on the perimeter, and now they'll swing it around to Foster. Good shot fake by Ella Foster to get a nice lane to drive through, but can't finish the layup. Frost the rebound for Baldwin. Marin will push it the other way. Reichert from the foul line. Ended up dribbling into traffic. May have been better suited taking the shot on the initial catch at the foul line there. And instead, it's another Baldwin turnover, their 9th of the game.
And there was the presence of the big body Ava Kale down low, went right into the trees, and Kale stuffed that back into play there and forced the turnover.
Kalk off the one dribble. Misfire. Kale on the offensive glass. Can't stick it back. And Emma Kate Lang clears it for Baldwin. 4-point Bulldog lead. Frost into trouble. Back out to the perimeter it comes for Reichert. Now Smith, catch and fire. Left iron miss, offensive board for Reichert and knocked out of their hands on the way back up. It'll stay with Baldwin.
That could have been called a foul, too, on Ava Kale. There kind of stuck her arm in there. It looked like she got a little bit of the arm of the Bulldog offensive player there. But the Panthers avoid what could have been free throws there for Baldwin. See if the Panthers can get the ball back.
Abby Ediger is checked back in, replacing Meade for Paola. Inside Reichert, turn and face. Kick out, back up top it comes. Now Lang posting on Kale. And this time Kale does get whistled for the foul as she picks up her second.
Yeah, Kate Lang with a really nice move, getting around Ava Kale, getting Kale caught on her hip. And Kale had no choice but to foul Kate Lang and send her to the free throw line.
So Emma Kate, 35% shooter a year ago, 0 for 1 so far in this game, and now 0 for 2, as that was one of the things that Eric Toot had mentioned in some of his preseason preview stuff with different media publications, was got to convert the free throw line, and it sounds so simple. It's one of those things that gets taken for granted, though.
It does.
The points that can be left on the table at that charity stripe, and so far the Bulldogs in this game have left 3 possible points at that free throw line. Another opportunity still to come here for Lang.
And how many times have we seen in close games those missed free throws come back to haunt teams?
It's an 0 for 2, but a second chance at it after Bailey Smith secures an offensive rebound. Neufeld drive, unable to finish with the left hand, and then may have committed a foul after the miss. Let's see who they get here. Both Lang and Neufeld were there, and it is on Lang actually. So she picks up her second, and we'll go to the other end of the floor, and free throws coming up for Maddie Pitzer of Paola. It'll be a 1-and-1 opportunity for Pitzer.
Panthers have been okay so far at the free throw line. I believe 3 of 5 to start this game. This is a big 1-and-1 though for Maddie Pitzer. She struggled from the free throw line at times last year. See what she can do this time.
You are right on the money, Caleb. 3 out of 5 thus far. Make it 4 out of 6. And one more coming for Pitzer. That's her first point of the game. Man, it's still a one-possession game here with 3:48 left in the quarter. Baldwin opened up this second quarter with a 6-0 run to take an 11-5 lead, but they have failed to extend it any further. And now an offensive rebound by Kalk. Another offensive rebound by Ediger, and she gets hammered by Neufeld. So 2 more free throws coming up for Paola, as both teams have done a pretty good job tonight on the offensive glass.
The Panthers
haven't been able to capitalize much off those offensive boards, but they're both working hard on the glass.
The Panthers have been sensational on the offensive glass so far in this first half. Really kept the Panthers in the game, but just the missed free throws for both teams is why it's not a higher scoring game.
So I thought it was Neufeld that committed the foul. They actually call it on Toot. And now another offensive rebound after a pair of free throw misses. And they're going to get yet another opportunity at it. Down by 3 with 3.5 to play in the second. Off the top corner of the backboard on that shot by Hazel Downham. Kalk with another offensive rebound. Another missed shot off the wing, and this time Frost able to clear it for Baldwin, and then a foul committed in the backcourt by Maggie Kauk, and that is not only her second foul, but it'll allow Baldwin to walk to the other end of the floor and take some free throws, and it's going to be Marin Frost, who was a 63% free throw shooter a year ago, who will get the one-and-one opportunity here.
Yeah, mistake there by Maggie Kauk. Can't foul in the backcourt after you had about 6-7 opportunities on that little frustration foul there. It's a tough way to pick up your second foul.
And Frost able to capitalize with the first free throw anyway. They get 12-8. And now a chance at one more to extend this to a 5-point Baldwin lead, and does. Neufeld back in. That's Chloe Neufeld back in, and it looked like Lauren Berg was checking in for the first time as well. She come on the floor and then came right back off the floor.
A little confusion there between coach and player.
Turnover underneath. Here comes Baldwin leading by 5 with 3 minutes to go in the second quarter. Nearly gave it right back. Neufeld out to Smith. Up top to Frost. Once again to Reichert. Alyssa, pull up mid-range, rattles off, and Pitzer collects it for Paola. Blocking foul out near midcourt on Chloe Neufeld, and that's her third, and that puts them over the limit of the double bonus now. So the 10th team foul will mean 2 free throws coming up for Maddie Pitzer, who went 1 out of 2 at the line a moment ago.
And that's a mistake by the young freshman, Chloe Neufeld there. You can't pick up your third foul at the mid-court stripe. And now she's going to have to come out the rest of the game and possibly most of the third quarter as well.
Pitzer knocks down the first free throw as Mead checks back in for Paola. And as expected, Chloe Neufeld checks out. Samantha Scraper back in for Baldwin. 13-9 with 2:44 left to play in this first half. Pitzer knocks down both of the free throws. All 3 of her first half points have come at the charity stripe, and it's a 2-point, or make that a 3-point game with 2:40 left to play in the half. Dangerous window to try to fit that pass into from Scraper. She gets bailed out on the kick ball. Well, Baldwin avoids a turnover. They'll have a baseline inbound coming up with 2:33 left at the half, leading by 3. Frost quickly into Reichert. Deflected by Pitzer, and then an offensive rebound by Scraper will earn her a trip to the free throw line, and she got fouled on the putback try.
And the Panthers fell asleep defensively there. Quick inbound pass. Panthers were scrambling, got the weak side offensive rebound and drew the foul. And now 2 free throws coming for the Bulldogs.
And 3 fouls on Jade Mead. Scraper misses everything on that first free throw. Teammates with a chuckle give her a pat on the back and say, it's okay, we've all been there.
Oh, yeah. Happens to the best of them.
Even happened to Luka Doncic the other night in an NBA game.
See, like I said,
and he's arguably one of the best 2 or 3 players in the world. So
That's it.
And that one did everything but go in for Scraper. Rebounded by Ediger. Going baseline, Downham. Ran out of real estate, though. Baldwin back the other way. Smith shuffles it to Reichert and then gets called for the offensive foul. Abby Ediger standing in there strong to draw the charge. First foul on Smith. It'll go as the 10th turnover of this first half against Baldwin. And it goes back to Paola with 2 minutes left of the half and a 13-10 ball game.
Tremendous job by Ediger to take that charge and give the ball back to the Panthers. Trying to get back in this game, down just 3. I think it only made 2 field goals, though, in this game.
Shot partially blocked from Kale, but it ended up in the lap of Kauk, and then a foul is called on Kauk, I believe, after a miss. So that's not only her third, but the last 2 have both been kind of that frustration variety. They both happened in the backcourt.
And that's not good. You got 2 starters now with 3 fouls apiece for the Panthers in Mead and Kauk. Be interesting to see what Coach Butler does the rest of this half.
Scraper just missed a couple of free throws a moment ago, and now 0 for 3 at the line. As Kauk will come out, and Jade Mead, who is the other player Caleb just mentioned who has 3, comes back in. have a lane violation here on Alyssa Reichert of Baldwin. So that's the cruel reality for Scraper. She was 0 for 3, finally makes one, and it won't count. It'll get wiped off because her teammate jumped in the lane too quick.
That's basketball for you. It's fine. It's right there.
13-10 it remains. Baldwin by 3 with a little more than 90 seconds to play in the half. Coming up, the Farm Bureau Financial Services halftime show. And a steal here for Bailey Smith of Baldwin. Sets up Frost in rhythm, fires a 3 and splashes it home for the Bulldogs.
Ties their biggest lead of the game at 6. Panthers desperately need a bucket here to stave off this momentum that Baldwin's accumulated here at the end of this half.
Second three-pointer of this first half. The other came early from Carly Neufeld. A missed long shot here, and now Baldwin a chance to continue to add to that lead with a minute left in the half. Smith into the defender, Foster, and she's called for the block.
And that's unfortunate for Foster. She was there. All she had to do was just stop and fall backwards, and she'd draw the charge, but she shuffled her feet, and it gave up an easy blocking foul call, and now it's 2 more free throws for the Bulldogs.
So Bailey Smith did not take many last year. As a sophomore, was 1 of 6 at the free throw line. Her first trip there this season begins with a miss.
The free throw line has been a problem for the Bulldogs in this first half. It's kept the Panthers in the game, as the Panthers have shot fairly well on their end of the floor from the free throw line. Baldwin not so much on this end.
Yeah, 4 out of 12 now for Baldwin at the free throw line. And they do get one there from Bailey. And their lead is 7, largest lead of the first half for Baldwin. Meade wrapped up by Frost, a jump ball. It'll stay on this end for Paola. Peyton Williams checks in for the first time for Paola, a 5'8 senior.
You can see without Kalk on the floor, this offense is all over the place. Maggie Kalk is certainly the leader of this team. Picking up that third foul has really hurt the Panthers here in the dying straits of this first half.
Yeah, Kalk with 6 of their 10, and you mentioned it earlier, Caleb. They only have made 2 field goals. Those have been both made by Kalk. So they are searching for some offense here in these final seconds of the half. Down 7, the largest deficit of the game so far for Paola. Williams to Fuller, swing it to Foster in the corner, and a big three-point shot there from Ella Foster. They needed that one. It's 17-13 with 25 seconds left to play in the half.
Can't tell you how huge that bucket is for the Panthers and their confidence. Back in the game, down just 4. See if they can stop the Bulldogs here at the end of the half.
Bailey Smith looks back to her head coach, Eric Toot. Final possession here of the half. 10 seconds under that now, and Smith starts to operate with 5. Drives the right lane line. Big collision. And it's another charge on Bailey Smith. Second time she's been called for a charge here in the final couple minutes of the half. This time standing in to take that charge was Jocelyn Fuller. And it's a Bulldog turnover with 2.7 seconds left in the half. And a chance for one last heave here for Paola. And Pitzer, well, had a little bit more time than a catch and heave, but regardless, probably wasn't going to matter, and this was probably going to be the score. So here we are at the half, 17-13. Baldwin on top of Paola. The Farm Bureau Financial Services halftime show is coming up next on Baldwin Sports Live, presented by Hayden Outdoors.
Kelly Neufeld and his team at Farm Bureau Financial Services are there to help you protect what matters most in your life. From insurance plans customized to fit everything you need covered, to comprehensive financial planning to help you achieve your goals both present and future. Kelly works uniquely with you face-to-face to gain confidence in your financial well-being. Call 785-594-1055 to set up a meeting with Kelly Neufeld at Farm Bureau Financial Services in Baldwin City. It's your future. Let's protect it.
Hayden Outdoors Real Estate has proudly been serving the Midwest since 1976, covering 29 states and over $1.3 billion in annual sales. Chad and Penny Sheldon are some of the top producing brokers from Baldwin City, Kansas, selling farms, ranches, rural homes, and recreational real estate throughout Kansas. Their knowledge, passion, and expertise will help make your next real estate transaction an excellent experience. Contact Chad or Penny today by phone at 785-821-2666 or by email at shad@haydenoutdoors.com.
At Baldwin State Bank, we love being part of the community we serve. Our roots run deep in Baldwin City, and our commitment runs deeper. Whether it's that dream house you can't wait to call home, or the trust of your personal finances, both present and future, we're here to serve you, our customers, our neighbors. Baldwin State Bank, proud supporter of the Baldwin Bulldogs for more than 100 years and counting. Come see us downtown or online at baldwinstatebank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Halftime in Baldwin, 17-13. The Baldwin Bulldogs on top of the Paola Panthers as we welcome you in to the Farm Bureau Financial Services halftime show. Brought to you by your Farm Bureau agent in Baldwin City, Kelly Neufeld, there to help you protect what matters most. That's Kelly Neufeld and his team at Farm Bureau Financial Services. Call 785-594-1055 to set up a meeting and see how Kelly and his team can help you achieve your financial goals, both present and future. It was a 5-5 game after one. Both offenses were a little bit better in the second quarter of this game as they started to kind of find their way, but both still leaving some areas for improvement into this second half of the ball game. But when it all boils down, we've got a tight, competitive ball game as we thought we would here tonight. 2 ties, no lead changes in that first half. A large lead of 7 for Baldwin. Paola never did lead in the half. The Bulldogs' largest lead came there just moments before the half at 17-10 after they were tied at 5 after 1. It was a 6-0 Baldwin run to start the second quarter to take an 11-5 lead before Paola trimmed that back down to a 3-point margin at 11-8. It would remain a 3-point game all the way into the final minute and a half of the first half before a 3-pointer from Marin Frost pushed it up to 6. A free throw by Bailey Smith made it 7, but a big 3 from Ella Foster there in the final 30 seconds of that first half out of the left corner for Paola to take a 7-point deficit and trim it back down to 4. May not feel like a whole bit of a difference, 7 to 4 points, but in a game that's been tough to come by some offense, that 7 to 4 point difference, that's a difference maker.
Oh, it's significant. It takes a possession off the lead that Baldwin would have had if they would have held the Panthers scoreless there the last couple minutes, but it's just a big-time momentum shift by Ella Foster. Somebody other than Maggie Kaut got a field goal in that first half. Just 3 made field goals for the Panthers in that first half, but much better from the free throw line than the Bulldogs, and that's why this is a close game right now. The good shooting from the free throw line for the Panthers compared to the disappointing shooting, to say the least, for the Bulldogs from the free throw line in that first half, but just a ton of inconsistencies for both teams. Too many turnovers for both sides, too many fouls for both sides. Usually when you have more fouls and more turnovers than you do points, it don't end well for you.
Yeah, 20-plus fouls, 20-plus turnovers in that first half, but it's a 17-13 ball game at the break. We'll check the first half numbers when we come back here on the Farm Bureau Financial Services halftime show.
Kelly Neufeld and his team at Farm Bureau Financial Services are there to help you protect what matters most in your life. From insurance plans customized to fit everything you need covered, to comprehensive financial planning to help you achieve your goals both present and future. Kelly works uniquely with you face-to-face to gain confidence in your financial well-being. Call 785-594-1055 to set up a meeting with Kelly Neufeld at Farm Bureau Financial Services in Baldwin City. It's your future. Let's protect it.
Here are the first half numbers for you. The first half numbers brought to you by New Frontier Tax and Business Services at 608 High Street in Baldwin City, where they'll help you confidently tackle tax season, even highly specific situations. They'll help make sense of it all and meet your critical business needs with minimal investment, timely, accurate, and reliable services at an affordable cost to help your business grow and succeed. Visit newfrontiertbs.com or call 785-594-1204. to learn more. 17-13 game here at the break. The Baldwin Bulldogs in that first half led by Marin Frost, 5 points. A couple of free throws, a 3-pointer as well from Frost. She has 5. The rest of the Bulldogs scoring, Carly Neufeld with 3. That came on a 3-pointer back at the 3.5-minute mark of the first quarter, but the only bucket of that first half for the Bulldogs returning leading scorer. Emma Kate Lang with 4 points. Chloe Neufeld with 2 points, her first varsity points for the freshman. Both came at the free throw line, and Bailey Smith with 3 first half points for Baldwin. Leading the rebounding category was also Frost. 3 first half boards for Marin. Reichard, Toot, and Smith pulled down 2 boards apiece, and it was Bailey Smith and Carly Neufeld with 1 assist apiece to lead the Bulldogs. For Paola, Maggie Kauk, their top scorer in that first half with 6. Ella Foster added 4. They make up 10 of the 13 for Paola. The other 3 came from Maddie Pitzer at the free throw line. On the glass, Maggie Kauk led the way there. 5 first-half rebounds, including 4 offensive rebounds for Kauk. That was one thing that Paola really did a good job of, was hitting the offensive glass. Not only did they have the 4 offensive boards from Kauk, but they had an offensive rebound from Foster, 1 from Pitzer, 1 from Ediger, and a couple from Kale as well. All in all, though, they weren't able to capitalize for many second-chance points off of those offensive boards, but they were hitting the glass. So the 5 boards by Kauk leads all players in this game. Maddie Pitzer with 3, Ava Kale with 3 rebounds as well. Kale with a team-high 2 assists in that first half as she hooked up with Maggie Kauk on a couple of nice backdoor feeds for layups. So those are your first half numbers. They're brought to you by New Frontier Tax and Business Services. The halftime show is brought to you by Farm Bureau Financial Services as we get set to head to the second half of this ball game. Both teams will try to settle in a little bit. Rounding out those stats for you as well. Caleb mentioned the free throw line. Baldwin just 5 of 13 at the stripe. Paola 6 out of 10. So both teams not where they want to be, but Paola definitely was more efficient there. Both teams double-digit turnovers in that first half. 11 from Baldwin, 10 from Paola. So whichever team perhaps Caleb settles in a little quicker in this second half, perhaps be the one that pulls away and opens up some space here in this second half.
Yeah, it certainly feels that way. If one team can just go on a 4 or 5 minute stretch of having clean basketball, not turning the ball over, getting good looks, knocking them down, can certainly have the upper hand in this one, but it's just a matter of execution and just slowing the game down, because right now the game seems too fast for both of these teams right now. Like you said, 21 combined turnovers in that first half. They just got to say, hey, that half is over. We got a new half here. Score 0-0. Pump the brakes a little bit. Let's slow down. Let's run some efficient offense, get a good look, and not try to force stuff. Paola's done that more, I feel like, on their end than Baldwin's had. Baldwin's had a couple charging fouls that have led to turnovers, have had a couple misplayed passes. Just Paola's gotten a lot of good looks, just hadn't been knocking them down. But Paola seems to be trying to force the ball into the middle a little too much.
Well, 16 minutes down, 16 to go. 17-13, Baldwin on top of Paola. You've been watching the Farm Bureau Financial Services halftime show on Baldwin Sports Live.
Trindle Lumber Company is the go-to stop for every do-it-yourselfer and professional contractor. They carry a wide variety of plumbing, electrical, and hardware products, along with a vast selection of windows, doors, and paint. Their full-service drive-through lumber yard has what you need for every project and offers free estimates and professional delivery. At Trindle Lumber Company, you get the right products with the best service. Stop by at 1516 South Main in Ottawa or call 785-242-8144.
With Heartland Plumbing, you get full-service plumbing from a real plumber, not a sales guy who's just there to fix a leak. Heartland Plumbing sets appointments they hold true to, not an inconvenient block of time they might be there. With a strong reputation and years of quality service, Heartland Plumbing has the tools and the people to get your plumbing job done on time the first time. Give them a call at 913-856-5846, serving every big town and small town around, residential and commercial. That's Heartland Plumbing, the plumber you can open your door to.
Welcome back here to Baldwin High School as we head to the second half. It's Baldwin and Paola, 17-13. A Baldwin lead, and the Bulldogs will have the basketball to start this second half. I'm Bryce Kessler along with Caleb Butler. We're on Baldwin Sports Live, presented by Hayden Outdoors. Simulcast tonight over on Paola Sports Live as well, and the Bulldogs get a three-pointer out of the corner from Marin Frost to kick off this second half. Neufeld, the assist, and it is 20-13 as Baldwin quickly matches their largest lead of the contest.
That was poor defense by the Panthers out of the gate to start the second half. One pass and a shot up for a three. Don't usually end well for you, but see if the Panthers can answer.
They will try from the wing from Pitzer, and she's found shooting the three. Bailey Smith commits her third, and that will put Pitzer at the line for 3 shots. We saw Baldwin get a three-point shooter fouled back in the first half, and now Pitzer a chance to make the Bulldogs pay for the same mistake here. And that one rattles in for Pitzer.
Soft shooting touch right there for Pitzer on that first one.
Take a look back at our State Farm Insurance game plan, brought to you by State Farm Insurance agent Cody Anno at 785-594-0270. Bulldogs haven't really gotten Neufeld going on the offensive side. Just 3 points for Carly. And turning defense to offense, well, they've forced the turnovers. They've had the opportunities there, but they have not been able to get the points much off of those. And now Maddie Pitzer takes full advantage of the three-point shooting foul and knocks them all down. So 6 points, all to the free throw line for Pitzer, and it's a 4-point game again. Carly, crossover dribble, step back three, missed it. Rebounded Foster. Kalk playing with 3 fouls to start this second half. Inside to Kale, tough turnaround, not there. Neufeld the rebound. Carly pushes it up herself. Has her younger sister Chloe out of the wing. One-hand pass inside the lane, and she is fouled by Ava Kale, who will join Meade and Kalk with 3 personal fouls after that one.
Yeah, that's unfortunate there. That's now 3 starters for the Panthers with 3 fouls apiece. Got to really be careful now. I do not want to pick up that 4th foul for either of them, especially early in this third quarter. That could prove costly for the Panthers as this game goes along.
Emma Kate-Lang 0 for 3 at the free throw line tonight, and now 0 for 4.
Said the free throw woes continue for the Bulldogs.
No doubt. 5 out of 14 for the ball game. Brylan Wicker checks back in for Paola, replacing Kale, who just picked up that 3rd foul. And Lang unable to extend the Bulldog lead. Foster trying to enter it down into the post. And it's knocked out of bounds. It looked like Frost touched it last, so it'll stay with Paola. Kalk will inbound with 6:37 to play in this third quarter, a 20-16 ball game. Ediger inside to Wicker. Right back out to Ediger. Fires up a 3. And rebounded by Lang for Baldwin.
Good look from Ediger. Just wasn't able to knock it down. That's good offense by the Panthers.
Frost for the baseline up to Reichard. Alyssa with a drive. Bank shot won't go, but a foul. And 2 shots coming for Alyssa Reichard as Abby Ediger picks up a personal foul. That's now 4 players with 3 fouls for Paola.
Foul trouble really mounting for the Panthers. Like I said, that's the 4th player with 3 fouls for the Panthers.
And Reichard went over the line on that attempt. Wouldn't have mattered if she missed it anyway, but she will have one more attempt. Jade Meade comes back in for Ediger. Meade and Kalk out there with 3 apiece for Paola. Baldwin has 2 players with 3, Bailey Smith and Chloe Neufeld, who is still on the floor. And Reichard knocks down the second free throw. She had 16, a career high against Paola in the season opener a year ago. That is her first point of this one. It's a 5-point Baldwin lead. They've never trailed in this game, but they've never led by more than 7 either, as Paola has been able to stay close enough. And now they turn it over. A chance to run for Baldwin. Reichard. No call. They play on after Kalk hit the floor, and Paola's certainly, I guess, okay with that. Didn't want Kalk to pick up a 4th there, and Reichard, after 2 chances, comes up empty.
Yeah, Kalk certainly got away with one there. That certainly looked like a body foul that she got away with and avoided that 4th foul.
As most coaches will say, got to be something, right? But they said play on, and now Kalk battling underneath is fouled by Baldwin.
Just the continued pressure the Panthers put on the offensive glass has really hampered Baldwin's defense. They have got to start putting bodies on the Panthers. Eventually, these offensive rebounds will start to go down for the Panthers.
It's the 2nd foul on Marin Frost. Baseline inbound for Paola, and now another foul on the Bulldogs. That's the second on Alyssa Reichert.
Fouls piling up for both teams. 5 already in this second half. Just 2.5 minutes in.
And both teams made it into the double bonus in the first half, and both headed that direction again early on in this one. In this second half, I should say. So 2 checks back in for Reichert for Baldwin. It's a 5-point Baldwin lead. 5.5 to play, third quarter. Mead, terribly difficult shot there as she tried to pull up off the dribble and never really got squared up. Tooth the rebound, and back comes Baldwin, looking to extend a 5-point lead. Frost gives it up, top of the key, back to Neufeld. It's Chloe Neufeld now. Carly just 1 bucket so far for the Bulldogs. Here she is, looking for that second, and finds it out of the corner on the left side. So she's only hit 2 shots. They have both been threes, however. And that is now a 24-16 lead. The 8-point margin is the biggest lead of the game for the Bulldogs, and a chance to take advantage of a turnover. It's Carly Neufeld with it. Attacks Pitzer and lays it in. So back-to-back buckets from Neufeld, and it's now a 10-point Baldwin lead.
Baldwin starting to separate. Coach Butler might want to take a timeout here and settle down the Panthers, and she does.
On cue, there it is, as Jamie Butler will try to stem the momentum a little bit here as the Bulldogs get 5 quick points from their top scorer coming back, Carly Neufeld. A 3, then the steal resulting in 2, and it's 26-16 Baldwin with 4:25 left in the third here on Baldwin Sports Live, presented by Hayden Outdoors. Also brought to you in part by Rice Precision Manufacturing. If you're looking for a great job at the growing family-owned company right here in Baldwin City, then check out Rice Precision Manufacturing. Actively looking to fill positions for skilled CNC machinists and CNC operators. Excellent pay, competitive benefit packages, a climate-controlled work environment, and a friendly support staff dedicated to the betterment of their employees. Send an email to jobs@riceprecision.com to schedule an interview. So 4:25 left to play in the third. And the Paola Panthers now trailing by 10, a 6-0 Baldwin run over the last nearly 2 minutes. And has opened this lead up to the widest margin of the game at 10 points. 2 ties, no lead changes so far in this one. And if there could be such a thing with still 12.5 minutes to go, it is bordering on danger zone right now for Paola, simply because of the fact, Caleb, that they have struggled to score offensively, so you can only expect to score so many points in these final 12 minutes. You can't afford this deficit to draw too much bigger if you're Paola.
That's it. You got 9 points from the free throw line, which is very, very good, but you only have 3 field goals in 2.5 quarters. That has got to change in these last quarter and a half.
Kauk's 3 misses, an offensive rebound by Ediger. And a foul on the entry pass as Chloe Neufeld just picked up her 4th. She was in a bit of a predicament there as with the scramble situation, she got switched off onto Peyton Williams. And Williams with a decisive size advantage underneath, and Neufeld just trying to body her up, keep her from dominating down there, ends up picking up her 4th. So Chloe checks out. Emma Kate Lang comes back in. Williams also exits for Paola. They have their starting 5 minus Mead back out there on the floor. Ediger in her place, and it's another Baldwin foul on the drive. And it'll be free throws for Kauk as Bailey Smith now picks up her 4th. So the Baldwin Bulldogs as a team aren't much at foul issues, but now they've got 2 with 4. Outside of that, everybody's sitting pretty good.
Absolutely, and looked like that could have been called either way there as Kauk tried to make something happen, drove in, and looked like she put all her weight into Smith there, but the refs called a blocking foul, and it saved Kauk from picking up her 4th, but it did give Bailey Smith her 4th as she's out of the game now as well.
Alyssa Reichert back in. The first free throw rattled in and out. The second one draws iron only. So an 0 for 2 trip for Kauk. And a foul then committed by Paola after the Lang rebound.
It's on Ediger, and I believe that's her 4th as well.
You're correct. 13 foul only on Paola, but individually they are looking at some foul issues. 4 on Ediger, 3 on Kauk, 3 on Kale, 3 on Mead. Those final 3 all starters for the Panthers tonight. 10-point Baldwin lead. Neufeld has the last 5, now has the last 8. 29-16 Baldwin, as Neufeld was very quiet throughout the first 2.5 quarters, but is now heating up with 11 to lead all scorers tonight.
Big time shots for Neufeld. She's taken over this second half, like you said, with 8 straight for the Bulldogs.
Kauk to answer for the right wing, not there. Offensive rebound, Williams, and kicks it back out. Or check that, I said Williams, it was Wicker who had that offensive rebound. And another timeout will be taken by Paola. So offensive rebounds continuing to be a plus for Paola in this game, but they are, for the most part, unable to capitalize off of those offensive boards. 29-16 with 3:26 left to play in this third quarter. You're watching Baldwin Bulldog basketball on Baldwin Sports Live, brought to you in part by The Bullpen, your locally owned sports bar in downtown Baldwin City. Open 11 a.m. through 2 a.m. Monday through Saturday, and 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Sundays. A perfect place to go before, during, or after the ball game. Follow them on Facebook at Bullpen Baldwin City for all the latest happenings at your local sports bar in downtown Baldwin, The Bullpen. 13-point Baldwin lead. The Bulldogs on a 9-0 run right now, with 8 of the 9 coming from their senior guard, Carly Neufeld. Foster, good look from the elbow. Gets it back, then had it knocked away. Down to the floor she goes, and a tie-up. The jump ball will keep it here with Paola.
A really good look by Foster, wide open from the elbow, just way too strong off the glass. Fortunately, able to keep the possession alive, forcing the tie-up.
Can they capitalize off yet another offensive rebound? Inside to Kale. Double down, kicks out, high arcing 3, misfired. And a loose ball foul against Paola. And I think it's going to be on Wicker. It is.
Yeah, much better box out there by the Bulldogs. Wicker had no choice but to go through the back of the Baldwin defender and picks up the foul.
Neufeld has it here for Baldwin. She has scored the last 8 and has helped open up this lead. Now Frost for 3. Foster the rebound. Nice pass to the backside for Kauk, who lays it in. Beautiful feed by Foster to set up Maggie Kauk for her 8th point of the game.
That's a tremendous fast break by Foster, and a nice pass over to Kauk for the left-handed kiss off the glass.
Reichert with the shot fake, the drive, and a foul on Maggie Kauk, and she picks up her 4th.
And that's trouble for the Panthers. Best player potentially for the Panthers now has 4 fouls with over 10.5 minutes to go in the game.
Well, she has certainly been their best offensive player tonight. She has 3 of the 4 made field goals in this game for Paola, and she heads to the bench with 4 personal fouls with still 2:26 to go in the third quarter. Jocelyn Fuller will check back in for her. So you certainly can't disagree with the decision of Jamie Butler to take Kauk out here with 4 fouls and 2:26 to go in the third after Toot can't finish on an offensive rebound. Wicker took it right back away from her. But you also, I would think, at a certain point, if you're Paola, depending on what happens in this final 2 minutes, you might have to throw caution to the wind and just say, Kauk, you got to play even with the fouls because we need the offense.
Oh, absolutely. Eventually you got to be like, all right, hey, we're down double digits here. If you foul out, you foul out. If not, we have a chance to get back in this game. But now the Panthers have a costly turnover there as an offensive foul is called on the charge.
So Jocelyn Fuller picks up the foul and the turnover to send it back to Baldwin, a 29-18 Bulldog lead. Frost was open to the corner, but she was open because of an illegal screen set by Alyssa Reichert, who picks up her 3rd.
And both teams now have 6 fouls apiece, so we'll be shooting free throws for the rest of this ball game, the final 10 minutes of it.
Paola with a basketball, trailing by 11, and they turn it over. Neufeld up top for Reichert. Now Frost in the corner. And Reichert travels. Well, there is that thing that people like to talk about, the announcer's jinx, as Sam Scraper checks back in. I didn't even say it out loud, and apparently it was jinxed, but I was just thinking to myself, both teams have kind of curbed the turnovers in this second half, and since then we've seen Paola turn it over, I think 2 of their last 3 possessions, and Baldwin has now turned it over on back-to-back possessions. So I guess even without saying it, the jinx worked.
It is, and it's just first game jitters for both teams, but neither team has played well at all in this game whatsoever, as he turned it over well over 30 combined times. It's ugly basketball, but it's expected as the first game of the year. You're not expected to come out and be like, hey, spot on, perfect. This is supposed to be this. You're going to have these hiccups.
Yep.
And fortunately for both teams, nowhere to go but up. From here on out, it's been one struggle fest,
yeah,
to say the least.
They've had spurts where you think, okay, it's going, but then it's kind of just tumbled back the other way as they both continue to try to find their way here in this season opener. Good news if you're a Baldwin fan, it's been slightly better, and the Bulldogs lead by 11. For the Paola fans who are watching tonight, they're just hoping their team can knock down some shots here in these final now 9.5 minutes to play. Baldwin holding on to an 11-point lead. The Bulldogs have never trailed tonight. Inside to Kale. Good look for the center of the paint, but it won't go. And Emma Kate Lang the rebound.
Ava Kale's getting a lot of paint touches, which is good, but she's not squaring up completely at the basket. She just turn around and putting up the shot. She's got to be able to turn around, face the basket, and then go up to have a straight-on shot. She's kind of forcing it up there rather quickly.
Well, Baldwin looks to be content to let some clock run here in this final minute now of the quarter. They lead it by 11. A 9-0 run in this third quarter for Baldwin helped open up that lead. It was a 20-16 ball game before Carly Neufeld started knocking down shots, scored 8 of the 9. Now Neufeld trying to assist one here, but the Frost 3 won't go. Out of bounds, last touch by Lang. And it's Paola basketball with 37 seconds to play in the third. Hazel Downham checks back in for Paola.
Objective number 1 for the Panthers here is try to get this down to a single-digit lead or single-digit deficit going into the fourth quarter.
And all that will take is 1 bucket. But that has been easier said than done so far. Just 4 field goals for Paola in this game. Can they find one here? Downham, extra pass to the corner. Foster, who had a big 3 late in the second quarter, had a chance for a big one there, but missed it. And no.
Oh, no.
Foster holding that right leg, may have come down on the foot of the defender perhaps.
Oh, boy, this does not look good for Ella Foster. Hopefully it's just a tweak, but it looks more than just a tweak.
They are going to take a look at Ella Foster here with 17 seconds left in the third quarter. And, man, you hope that that's not going to be a significant injury at all to the senior guard, Ella Foster, who's played a very good game here for the Panthers. 5 rebounds and assists, 4 points. She's been about as all around as steady as any of the players have been on the floor tonight for the Panthers. But they'll take a look at Ella, and with 17 seconds left in this third quarter, we'll remind you Baldwin Sports Live is presented by Hayden Outdoors Real Estate, the #1 land brokerage for farm, ranch, and recreational properties. If you're looking to find your next dream property, or maybe you're thinking about listing, go with the best in the business. You won't be disappointed. It's your local Baldwin City brokers, Shad and Penny Sheldon at Hayden Outdoors. And right now they've got the perfect modern farmhouse available just outside of Baldwin city limits. A newly remodeled home that sits on nearly 3.8 acres of tree-lined undeveloped farm ground. See that beautiful property and more online at HaydenOutdoors.com. Well, great sight here as Ella Foster, after getting looked on by Gary Stavanis, athletic director and head athletic trainer here at Baldwin High School, she hopped up and ran back to the bench. So that is certainly what you like to see after a player goes down. And she will come out of the lineup, obviously, here, but the way she jogged off the floor, I wouldn't be surprised to see Foster back into this game to start the fourth quarter.
Oh, not at all. The way it looked like initially, it looked like it was pretty significant, but the way they were working on her over there, she wasn't really grimacing at all or showing much pain at all. So hopefully it was just a little tweak, a little scare, and now it's nothing to worry about. But we'll see what happens in that fourth quarter.
Frost to Neufeld with 5 on the clock. Neufeld's 3 misses, rebounded by Wicker, and that will do it for the third. 29-18 Baldwin after 3. Back for the fourth right after this on Baldwin Sports Live, presented by Hayden Outdoors.
State Farm Insurance Agent Cody Anno is ready to be there for you every step of the way. From starting policies out to the day disaster strikes, Cody and his team are ready to help. Cody strives to be different, doing things the other people don't and other agencies won't, helping more people in more ways. That's Cody Anno State Farm. Call 785-594-0270 or stop by at 208 Baker Street for a cup of coffee and a free quote for your auto, home, or life insurance with Cody Anno, your local State Farm insurance agent in Baldwin City.
Dr. Philip Harvey at Oral Surgery Kansas is a proud supporter of the Baldwin Bulldogs. Dr. Harvey and his staff wish all of the Bulldogs the best of luck this year as you continue to make Baldwin City proud. Oral Surgery Kansas provides personalized, gentle, comprehensive patient care for a wide range of oral surgery procedures. To learn more, visit oralsurgerykansas.com or call 785-843-5490. Oral Surgery Kansas, cheering on the Baldwin Bulldogs.
Welcome back to Baldwin Sports Live, presented by Hayden Outdoors. We're simulcasting tonight over on the Paola Sports Live channel, so welcome to all you Paola Panther fans who are tuning into our broadcast here tonight as well. It's been a ball game that's seen kind of what you expect in a season opener, some ups, some downs, and certainly still anybody's ball game, but Baldwin leads it by 11 as we start this fourth quarter. The Bulldogs outscoring Paola 12-5 in that third period to help give themselves a little breathing room here to start this final period. Carly Neufeld into the corner to Frost. It was Neufeld that really opened that lead up with an 8-0 run herself, and now a turnover resulting in then a foul, I think, on Baldwin after the giveaway.
It is, and that's now 7 team fouls on the Bulldogs. Panthers shooting a 1-and-1.
Well, Frost turned it over and then compounds it with a foul, so it will lead to those free throw, at least one attempt for Hazel Downham. Junior at the line and knocks it down.
Panthers have been very effective from the free throw line. I believe 10 for 15, roughly 10, 14.
10 of 16 now on that one.
That's not bad.
Yeah,
for high school.
Right, and so they've attempted just one more free throw than Baldwin, but they've made twice as many as Baldwin. So they have certainly used that free throw line to their advantage. And now they're going to get a chance after the second free throw is missed by Downham. A team offensive rebound to capitalize further. And what is a 10-point game here with 7:46 to play. Maggie Kalk is in the lineup. She has the ball. She's playing with 4 fouls, and she's scoring her 10th point of the game. So a quick 3 to start this, 3 points to start this second, or the fourth quarter, I should say, for Paola. And Reichert gets the roll to get 2 back for Baldwin. That's her first field goal of the game, and it's 31-21 Baldwin.
It's a big bucket for Baldwin there. Panthers got it below 10 and starting to feel a little bit of momentum, but a big bucket there puts it back to 10, and now a costly turnover on this end.
Wicker travels, gives it up, and Baldwin will have it up 10 with 7:16 to go. Paola will be home to host Prairie-LeCompton in their home tournament this next week. Baldwin will be on the road to take on Anderson County this coming Tuesday. And now a Baldwin turnover to give it right back over to Paola as Reichert gets called for the travel. Abby Ediger checking in for Paola, replacing Brylan Wicker.
Just seems like when Baldwin wants to get on a run to really open this game up, they have bad possessions back-to-back, have turnovers after turnovers, keeping the Panthers in the game if the Panthers can somehow find some sort of offense.
That has been their best offense, that high 1-4 high backdoor cut from Kalk. They've worked that for a couple of buckets. This time Kalk will have to earn them at the free throw line. Kale with a couple of assists off that same exact play. And that foul is charged to Alyssa Reichert, so now she picks up her 4th. That's 3 Bulldogs with 4 fouls to join the 2 now Panthers with 4 fouls. The Panthers got there earlier, but the Bulldogs have now caught them in the foul trouble as Reichert checks out and Toot comes back in.
And a pleasant sight to see. Ella Foster's back on the floor for the Panthers.
No doubt. And a missed free throw will lead to another offensive rebound. Kalk leans in and banks it in.
Maggie Kalk trying to force her way to get the Panthers back in the game, down just 7.
31-24 with 6:42 to play. And they take advantage of another offensive rebound to give them that second chance bucket there by Kalk. Smith Rejected by Kale. Kalk brings it the other way for Paola. Down 7. Foster bobbles it. And then a timeout taken by Paola as Jamie Butler could maybe sense a potential turnover happening there after that bobble by Foster. So wisely spins one of her remaining timeouts. Paola will have 2 remaining timeouts. Baldwin still with 3 with 6:22 left to play in this fourth quarter. Baldwin Sports Live brought to you in part by Rice Precision Manufacturing, a family-owned company in Baldwin City that services many different industries from food processing to heavy and light industrial, oil and gas, and many more. With state-of-the-art machine tools, a great work environment, excellent pay, and competitive benefits, it's the perfect place to start your next career. Find out more by emailing jobs@riceprecision.com. Still have another game to go tonight. Game 2 of our doubleheader, the boys game, featuring a Baldwin Bulldog team that had a 6-win improvement year to year from 2 seasons ago to last, and a lot of that contribution is back this year, so they have high expectations coming in to this 2022 season. And for Paola, if you watched Paola basketball last year and you come to watch Paola basketball this year, you may think you went into a time warp and you missed something, because it's going to look like a whole brand new team out there.
A whole new starting 5. All 5 starters for the Panthers are gone off of last year's team. It would be interesting to see how the boys react to a new generation of players.
So that game coming up following the conclusion of our girls game, which is still competitive, and it's been all night. It's 7-point Baldwin lead. Bailey Smith nearly coming up with a steal. Kept alive by Pitzer, and then fires a beautiful pass inside to Maggie Kalk, who was doing jumping jacks underneath the basket, calling for it. And it's 31-26 on a 5-0 run by Paola. Neufeld, shot fake and drive, gets herself a nice look but can't hit it. And Pitzer clears it for Paola.
Maggie Kalk trying to do her inner Kate Ediger, trying to take over the game. Got the Panthers back in this one.
5-point game with 5:40 to go. A long way to go. Ediger, 3-pointer on the way. Offensive rebound, Kale. Another offensive rebound. Knocked to the floor. Ediger, tie up. And a jump ball will keep it with Paola.
Well, the Panthers' energy has been excellent in this fourth quarter, really getting to the boards again. They have all night, but they're finishing more, and they're getting back in this game. Like I said, Maggie Kalk channeling her inner Kate Ediger, trying to take over a game that the Panthers were down by 11 just a few moments ago.
By my count, that's 13 offensive rebounds now for Paola in this game, compared to just 4 for Baldwin. If they start capitalizing on some of those offensive rebounds at a higher clip, Baldwin could be in trouble in this final 5 minutes. Bulldogs holding the lead, but it's getting smaller by the possession. Another offensive rebound, and 2 more points are trimmed off of that lead as Ava Kale picks up her first bucket of the game, and it comes off the offensive board. 31-28.
Down to a 1-possession game. Bulldogs need a basket.
Well, Carly Neufeld has been their go-to player when they really need one. She has it here, top of the key. Can they get her an open look? Laying out to set the screen. Neufeld on the drive, relocate, kick to 2, 3-pointer, missed everything, and it will go back over to Baldwin, and now Foster has gone back down onto the floor, and I believe it's a cramp that she's dealing with, which would explain why she went down in pain and then was able to get stretched out and run off the floor, and now she has again gone down to the floor, and they will stretch out that left calf. So that's the good news. It appears that Ella Foster's just dealing with cramps. I say just. Calf cramp is painful. Everyone who's had one knows. But the good news about that is that's typically not something that is going to be a long-term type of a deal, which it scarily looked like it may have been at the very first incident. But they are stretching out Ella Foster right now, and it's a 31-28 ball game. This game has been completely flipped around, Caleb, from about the 3-minute mark of the third quarter. Baldwin was on a 9-0 run. They had gone up 29-16, and it looked like they had finally kind of found their rhythm and they're going to pull away with this thing. But since that moment, it's been all Paola. They've outscored Baldwin 12-2 since that moment, and we're back down to a 3-point game with 4:40 to go.
And a big key to that has been Maggie Kalk. Maggie Kalk has come alive in this fourth quarter, I believe, with 10 of those 12 points in this run, if I'm not mistaken, in this 12-2 run. Maggie Kalk playing with 4 fouls, so she's taking caution to the wind, just going right after it. She's saying, if I foul out, I foul out, but if not, I have a chance to get my team back in this game. She's certainly done that so far. See if the Panthers can come all the way back and actually finish the game. But it all depends if Maggie Calc can stay on the floor. The Panthers' offense has been really ineffective without Maggie Calc on the floor.
Well, 31-28 the ball game, or the score here in the ball game, as Foster has to come out for a moment anyway.
Need to get her some fluids and see if she can get that cramping issue resolved.
Baldwin holding on to a 3-point lead. It was as many as 13. It was an 11-point lead at the end of the third quarter, but it's been a 10-2 advantage for Paola in this fourth quarter. It's already the Panthers' highest scoring quarter of the game with still over half of the quarter to play. Ediger working off the right wing, or check that. Oh, yeah, it was Ediger, and now this is Kale for 3. Follows her shot and gets the offensive rebound. Up to 15 offensive boards in the game now. It sets up Calc for the tie off to the right side. Meade had a chance at that board, and instead it's Neufeld down to the floor with it, and a timeout is given to Baldwin. Eric Toot hollering from the sideline to get the timeout here with 4:06 to play in the fourth.
And I'll tell you this right now, Neufeld got away with one there. She was slapping at the Paola defenders, trying to get her arms off of there. She got away with it with the timeout called just before she started slapping at the Panther defenders. Got to watch that. So fortunately for the Broncos, for the Bulldogs, they saved the possession while taking the timeout.
So a 31-28 lead. The Bulldogs will have possession as we take a look here at our upcoming broadcast schedule for you. Tuesday next week on the road with the Bulldogs at Anderson County. Back home Friday to host Burlington. And then they'll continue the following week at Lewisburg. So you can see there the upcoming broadcast. You can also check out our upcoming broadcasts in your local community newspaper, the Baldwin City Community News. Local paper with the latest news, opinions, sports, ads, and more. Subscribe for just $5 a month and stay up to date with the latest local news for the Baldwin City Community Newspaper. They got a special holiday price going on right now as well. So stop by downtown at the Nook, 703 8th Street, to find out how you can subscribe to the Baldwin City Community Newspaper. 4:06 to play. Baldwin 31, Paola 28. Baldwin basketball, both teams in the bonus, both teams with 2 timeouts remaining. Chloe Neufeld, the freshman, brings it up, kicks it out to her senior sister, Carly Neufeld. Back to Chloe for 3. And off the hand of Paola. Last touch by Pitzer, so Baldwin will have another chance at it. Neufeld enters it to Reichard. Spinning to her left and is able to get it to drop.
Big time basket for Reichard to give the Bulldogs a 2-possession lead.
Right back to answer is Maggie Calc, who is up to a game-high 18 points with that lay-in.
Maggie Calc doing all she can to keep the Panthers in this one.
Frost is called for a travel as she tried to slip through the defenders. And Baldwin's turnover will open the door for another opportunity for Paola to try and perhaps tie this game up. We have been tied twice, both back at the first quarter at 2 and 5. Paola has never led in this ball game and is trailed by as many as 13. Trailed by 11 to start this fourth quarter. Ediger works off the screen from Calc. Kale top of the key, fires underneath to Meade, and she is hacked by Carly Neufeld. 2 shots coming up for Jade Meade.
Panthers offense much more crisp in this fourth quarter. Clearly the best flow of the game for the Panthers in this one. And now Meade a chance to get this down to a 1-point game if she can make both free throws.
Has not scored in the ball game. Will go to the free throw line and misses the first.
And here we go. Like I said in the first half, these close games, the free throws matter.
No question. Baldwin has not attempted a fourth quarter free throw yet. They're just 5 of 15 for the game. They've only taken 2 free throws so far in the second half. And Paola, meanwhile, has now taken 11 second half free throws. That was their 6th attempt of the fourth quarter. They're 3 out of 6 here in the fourth. And they have trimmed it to a 2-point deficit with just over 3 minutes to play.
And also a big key here, the next Baldwin foul puts the Panthers in the double bonus, while the Bulldogs are just in the single bonus.
16 fouls for Paola only. Baldwin, the way they've shot it, though, maybe don't want to go to the free throw line. Here's Reichert on the right side, and here's the beauty or non-beauty of high school basketball. No shot clock, so you can work it around to get a great shot, and that indeed is what they get. Carly Neufeld knocks down their fourth three-pointer of the game, and they needed a big shot from their senior leader, and they get one. Kale answers right back as she banks one in for Paola. So they'll trade the 3 for the 2, but Paola keeping pace right there with a 3-point game still with 2:13 to go.
And the Panthers are going to have to start getting aggressive defensively, may have to start fouling to send Baldwin to the free throw line, where they have been poor, to say the least, in this ball game that could give the Panthers a chance to win the game if Baldwin can't make free throws.
Yeah, that's what I was getting into last time. Without the shot clock, there's no real reason for Baldwin to get too aggressive here offensively. You can tell that's their mindset because everything is staying up north of the three-point arc right now.
And like you said, the Baldwin Bulldogs just playing keep away, dribbling out near the timeline. Panther defense needs to sharpen up and get aggressive.
And the problem, somewhat of the problem for that is Reichert had it blocked, then trying to clear it back out, turns it over. I'll get back to it in a moment as Count brings it up for Paola. Stops and pops, but missed it. May have gotten hit on the arm, but they let her get away with it. And now Baldwin with Reichert still back on the other end of the floor, gets a layup and a foul. And they're going to call the intentional foul against Paola. So Baldwin, not only are they going to get the 2 points here from Reichert as the basket win, but they're going to get the ball back as well.
Boy, that's a tough call against the Panthers there. Must not have went for the ball. That's a tough foul called against the Panthers right there. Not only, like you said, a chance at a three-point play, but now Baldwin gets the ball back.
So 2 free throws as well for Reichert. This could be an expensive possession, and Reichert does miss the first. Well, what I was going to say as we have a moment here is Paola does need to start thinking about having a foul, but the problem is 3 of your 5 on the floor have 4 fouls, so they can't foul. And Reichert unable to capitalize on those free throw opportunities as Baldwin's woes continue at the stripe, now 5 of 17. But more importantly is the ball still is possessed by Baldwin because of that intentional foul. So another timeout is taken here by Paola. That will leave the Panthers with just 1 remaining with 1:16 to go. 38-33. We're back for the finish. Actually, no 30-second timeout, so we're going to keep it right here. So Baldwin will have the ball up 5 and only 1:16. So as you mentioned, Caleb, you have to start thinking about fouling now if you're Paola, putting Baldwin at the line, especially since they've only gone 5 of 17. But you have to be somewhat cognizant of who fouled because 3 of your 5 on the floor have 4 fouls.
Right. And at this point, as long as your best player is on the floor, Maggie Kaup, I think that the Panthers can live with other players fouling. Like you said, the free throw woes have kept the Panthers in the game as Baldwin has just been porous shooting the free throws. And right now, the Panthers just got to throw caution to the wind and say, hey, if they make free throws down the stretch, they deserve it. If not, we have a chance to come back and win.
They are 0 for 4 Baldwin at the line in the second half, just 5 for 17 for the ball game. Neufeld, who was their best free throw shooter, is at the one inbound of the ball, goes into her younger sister, Chloe Neufeld, and now back out it comes to Reichert. I would give the foul there although it's Kalk, you don't want her to foul. And now it's Neufeld, and Pitzer will commit that foul. So that's Maddie Pitzer's 3rd. And Baldwin will put, statistically anyway, from a year ago, their best free throw shooter at the line, and Carly Neufeld. But even she was only 66% last year, but that was the top mark for the team.
And she's been the catalyst for the Bulldogs.
No question.
In this ballgame, she's hit about 3 or 4 huge threes when the Panthers seem to get some momentum, just down 1 score, down 2 points earlier in this fourth quarter. Then she steps over there and hits a huge 3. Now see if she can make free throws. 11
of her 14 have come in the second half, and she indeed steps up and knocks down the first of the 1-and-1, so we'll earn 1 more. And that makes this a 6-point game with 1:07 to go.
And this is a big one right here. This can make this a 3-score game if she can knock this one down.
Paola has made just one three-pointer in this game, and they trail by 6 after the miss there. It's Kalk who brings it up. They'll have to shoot the three with still a whole minute to go. Down 6. Kale high-low with Kalk, and a foul on the catch. So it really won't matter, other than it gives Kalk not a chance for a three-point opportunity, because it does put Baldwin over the limit of the double bonus. So a couple of free throws coming up for Maggie Kalk.
And that's exactly what the Panthers want there. With the clock stop, a chance to put points on the scoreboard.
But that chance just got cut in half in terms of the amount that can be put on the board, as she misses the first.
Panthers struggling down the free throw line, down the stretch here. 2 misses.
She has now missed her last 6 at the line, Maggie Kalk.
But they're going to get 2 more, as Pitzer got the rebound, and she got fouled on the rebound.
So Emma Kate Lang picks up her third, and that's yet another offensive rebound.
And Maddie Pitzer has been the best shooter in this game for the Panthers in the free throw line. And announcer's jinx. Of course.
She, prior to that, you weren't lying. She was 6 of 7 at the free throw line, but misses that one and does get the next. Five-point game, 55 seconds to go. Chloe Neufeld, a freshman with it. They don't foul the freshman, and now it's Reichard. They don't foul her either. Now they eventually do, but that's Maggie Kalk's 5th. So that, unfortunately for Paola, you can't put your best offensive player in a position where she has to be the one to commit that foul.
That's unfortunate, but a tremendous fourth quarter, especially for Maggie Kalk. Got the Panthers back in this game. It's just unfortunate that her game ends about 45 seconds sooner than it should have been.
18 points, 8 rebounds tonight from Kalk. Thrown into the 1-and-1 is missed. So there is certainly still life for Paola, down 5 with 40 seconds to go. Underneath, Wicker is open and gets the 2.
And the Panthers got to get up and foul right now. Doesn't matter who it is.
3-point game, 30 seconds to go. Ball is loose, tied up at midcourt, and Baldwin is fortunate to have the possession arrow in their favor. But boy, oh boy, are they making it dicey here down the stretch. 27 seconds to go. Both teams now in the double bonus. It'll be 2 free throws for Baldwin if Paola has to give the foul, which they don't necessarily have to do it right away, but I don't think they want a whole lot of time to run off the clock, and almost another turnover. Toot has the ball. They don't foul her. They give it up to Frost, and then they do foul her.
It's like Paola's too intimidated to foul. It's like, oh, I don't want to be the one to foul, but eventually you got to say, hey, we're down 3. There's only 20 seconds left. You got to foul.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's Ediger that fouls out of the game this time.
So the second Panther to foul out, Abby Ediger joining Maggie Kalk. And now it's Marin Frost with 21 seconds to go. Does have 2 shots. That was the 10th team foul, so it's a 2-shot foul here for Frost. And Marin knocks down that first free throw. That's big. Makes this a 2-possession game. Can't hit the second. Kale the rebound. Paola's got to go in a hurry. Down 4 with 15 seconds to go. And a collision underneath. Offensive foul is called against Paola's Maddie Pitzer. It looked like she almost got tripped up by the primary defender, and it caused her to then fall and charge into the secondary defender. And she's called for the charge, which now really puts Paola in a bind. A 4-point game still with 14 seconds to go. Reichard to inbound. Baldwin has 2 timeouts if they're in trouble. They get it into Chloe Neufeld, and then she is grabbed by Wicker. So a couple of free throws coming up for Chloe with 12 seconds to go.
Tough spot here for the freshman. Fortunately, it's not a 1-score game with her at the free throw line. She does have that comfortability of being up 2 scores, but now Panthers are going to put added pressure to her with taking their last timeout.
And timeout, Paola with 12 seconds left to play in this fourth quarter. Will be Back for the conclusion right after this here on Baldwin Sports Live, presented by Hayden Outdoors.
Hayden Outdoors Real Estate has proudly been serving the Midwest since 1976, covering 29 states and over $1.3 billion in annual sales. Chad and Penny Sheldon are some of the top producing brokers from Baldwin City, Kansas, selling farms, ranches, rural homes, and recreational real estate throughout Kansas. Their knowledge, passion, and expertise will help make your next real estate transaction an excellent experience. Contact Chad or Penny today by phone at 785-821-2666 or by email at shad@haydenoutdoors.com.
Thank you. Can I help you today?
No thanks. I'm just looking. Oh, this is cute. So?
You wouldn't do it there. So, don't do it here. Sportsmanship. It's up to you.
Chloe Neufeld at the free throw line for the Bulldogs and misses the first of the two shots. So the lead remains just 4. Now a second free throw coming up for Chloe, and does get that one to rattle in. So the Bulldogs lead by 5, 7 seconds to go. Hoisting one up is Hazel Downham, rebounded by Neufeld, and she is fouled with 0.9 to go, but it is all moot at this point after Baldwin will hold on to win here on opening night. It'll be their 8th win in the last 9 season openers. The only exception was that 4-point loss last year down in Paola for the Bulldogs. And both teams are going to have plenty to work on following this season opener. Paola dominated the offensive rebounds, dominated the glass as a whole in this game, but struggled to get the offense going until this fourth quarter when they doubled their scoring output for the game. They had 18 points through 3 quarters. They scored 18 here in the fourth quarter. Baldwin, free throws became a big issue, but they did knock down several here to close out this ball game and hold on to win this one. They never trail. It was tied twice early, and Baldwin wins it on opening night, 43-36. Your final. The Baldwin Bulldogs start the year 1-0, and the Paola Panthers drop to 0-1 to start the new season. We're back to wrap things up in our girls game, including our Farm Bureau Financial Services player of the game right after this here on Baldwin Sports Live.
Lamb Roberts Price Funeral Home is honored to be your choice when the difficult time comes to plan a lasting tribute for your loved ones. There to guide you through the process from beginning to end with each family's unique traditions and beliefs in mind. Visit lamb-roberts.com to see all of the services offered, including their online pre-planning tool, or call 785-594-3644 to visit with the caring professionals at Baldwin City's only locally owned funeral service and cremation service provider, Lamb Roberts Price Funeral Home.
Kelly Neufeld and his team at Farm Bureau Financial Services are there to help you protect what matters most in your life. From insurance plans customized to fit everything you need covered to comprehensive financial planning to help you achieve your goals both present and future. Kelly works uniquely with you face to face to gain confidence in your financial well-being. Call 785-594-1055 to set up a meeting with Kelly Neufeld at Farm Bureau Financial Services in Baldwin City. It's your future. Let's protect it.
Welcome back to Baldwin. The girls' game official tonight, 43-36. Your final, the Baldwin Bulldogs with the victory over the Paola Panthers. It is time to name tonight's Farm Bureau Financial Services player of the game. And she got off to a bit of a slow scoring start in this one, but really got things going in the third quarter to help open up a lead. And how important was that space that they opened up? Well, we found out as it got close after that, but today's player of the game, senior guard Carly Neufeld with a team-high 15 points to go along with a team-high 3 assists for the Bulldogs, with 12 of her 15 coming in the second half. Tonight's Farm Bureau Financial Services Player of the Game. From insurance to investments, wealth management, and financial planning, Farm Bureau Financial Services is there to help you protect what matters most. Call today and set up a meeting with your local Farm Bureau team at 785-594-1055. It's your future. Let's protect it. Well, the final numbers in this ball game for both teams in what was a competitive game, no doubt. But in the end, it's a 43-36 win for Baldwin. The leading scorer on the night was Maggie Kauk for Paola, 18 to lead all scores, along with 8 rebounds. She was very good for the Panthers, especially in the second half. A dozen of her 18 came in the second half. The only player in double figures for the Panthers. Rest of the scoring, Foster with 4, Hazel Downham with 1, Maddie Pitzer with 7, Ava Kale with 4, Jade Mead with 1, and Brylan Wicker with 2. Kauk and Kale each had 8 rebounds to lead the way for the Panthers, and Ava Kale with 3 assists led the way for Paola. For Baldwin, top scorer was Carly Neufeld, 15 points in this one. Marin Frost added 9, 4 from Emma Kate Lang, 7 from Alyssa Reichard, 5 from Chloe Neufeld in her Bulldog debut, and 3 from Bailey Smith. It was Lang and Toot who led the way in rebounding with 4 apiece, and Carly Neufeld with a team-high 3 assists for the Bulldogs. They shot just 12 of 25 at the free throw line, but it was just enough in the end as they win this one 43-36, led by as many as 13 in the third quarter. That lead was down to as little as 3 or as little as 2 in the fourth quarter, but they never did trail as they end up winning this one tonight 43-36. Up next for the Panthers, they are home to host their home tournament this next week on Tuesday against Perry Lecompton, and for Baldwin, they are on the road next Tuesday to take on Anderson County, and they will host Burlington next Friday as well back here at home. You can catch both those games here on Baldwin Sports Live, and I don't have the Paola Sports Live schedule, but I assume that the games next week will be on Paola Sports Live, so you can check those out tonight, and thanks for putting up with me tonight here on the Baldwin Sports Live channel for the Paola fans who had to tune in. We were able to simulcast that game for you. So a loss, unfortunately, for Paola fans, but it was an entertaining game nonetheless. And now we've got another entertaining one coming up. The boys' game is next. You're watching Baldwin Sports Live, presented by Hayden Outdoors.
Hayden Outdoors Real Estate has proudly been serving the Midwest since 1976, covering 29 states and over $1.3 billion in annual sales. Chad and Penny Sheldon are some of the top producing brokers from Baldwin City, Kansas, selling farms, ranches, rural homes, and recreational real estate throughout Kansas. Their knowledge, passion, and expertise will help make your next real estate transaction an excellent experience. Contact Chad or Penny today by phone at 785-821-2666 or by email at shad@haydenoutdoors.com.
Dr. Philip Harvey at Oral Surgery Kansas is a proud supporter of the Baldwin Bulldogs. Dr. Harvey and his staff wish all of the Bulldogs the best of luck this year as you continue to make Baldwin City proud. Oral Surgery Kansas provides personalized, gentle, comprehensive patient care for a wide range of oral surgery procedures. To learn more, visit oralsurgerykansas.com or call 785-843-5490. Oral Surgery Kansas, cheering on the Baldwin Bulldogs.
When choosing a bank, wouldn't you prefer doing business with a local institution with years of commitment to our community? That's Baldwin State Bank. For more than 100 years, we've been providing products and services specifically tailored to our friends in Baldwin City. Whether it's a free checking account, savings for retirement, or your next loan, we'll be here. Because our roots are here. Baldwin State Bank, proud supporter of the Baldwin Bulldogs. Come see us downtown or online at baldwinstatebank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Welcome back, and we are now into the Baldwin Sports Live Baldwin State Bank pregame show for Game 2 of our doubleheader here tonight, following a 43-36 Baldwin girls victory in Game 1. And now we are set for Game 2, the boys' game tonight between the Baldwin Bulldogs and the Paola Panthers. Paola coming off of a 15-8 season a year ago, but it is a brand new look for the Panthers this year. All 5 starters gone for Ryan Oshel. He'll replace them all, and it may take a bit to figure out that new rotation and figure out the who's and the roles on this team for Paola here in 2022. And unfortunately for them, they get a team who has quite a bit back from last year in their opener. The Baldwin Bulldogs return 4 of their 5 starters from an 8-13 team a year ago. That was an improvement after a 2-win season the year prior, and they have their sights set on another big jump forward this year. They are led by all-league returning guard, honorable mention All-State Caleb Carr. The senior averaged 18 points and 4 assists along with 3 steals per game a year ago, and he is the headliner on this group that's back for the Bulldogs. And also senior Sam Darnell, who is the enforcer inside, second of the team last year at 6 rebounds a game. He's back to front line for the Bulldogs, and guards Joey Zembecki and Riker Grossner return as well as starters from that 8-13 team a year ago for Baldwin. The big question, who will be that secondary scoring option to replace Cole Mahaffey, who averaged just over 15 a game last year for the Bulldogs? So we'll find out who that may be in this one. But the Bulldogs certainly have a little bit more continuity to work with coming into this year than what the Panthers do. But you never know. It's a brand new season, and who knows? Paola may come out firing on all cylinders despite the fact that they lost 9 seniors from a year ago, including All-State do-it-all player Trey Mawalling. You just never know, and that's why these games are so fun. So it's Paola and Baldwin coming up here in moments. You're watching the pregame show brought to you by Baldwin State Bank. Personal service from people who care at your hometown community bank. Baldwin State Bank. For over 120 years, they've helped serve our community. Enjoy a better banking experience with your friends and neighbors at the Baldwin State Bank. More to come right after this here on Baldwin Sports Live.
With Heartland Plumbing, you get full-service plumbing from a real plumber, not a sales guy who's just there to fix a leak. Heartland Plumbing sets appointments they hold true to, not an inconvenient block of time they might be there. With a strong reputation and years of quality service, Heartland Plumbing has the tools and the people to get your plumbing job done on time the first time. Give them a call at 913-856-5846. Serving every big town and small town around, residential and commercial. That's Heartland Plumbing, the plumber you can open your door to.
Lamb Roberts Price Funeral Home is honored to be your choice when the difficult time comes to plan a lasting tribute for your loved ones. There to guide you through the process from beginning to end with each family's unique traditions and beliefs in mind. Visit lamb-roberts.com to see all of the services offered, including their online pre-planning tool, or call 785-594-3644 to visit with the caring professionals at Baldwin City's only locally owned funeral service and cremation service provider, Lamb Roberts Price Funeral Home.
Back on the Baldwin State Bank pregame show, the Bulldogs and the Panthers getting set to battle here on the season opener tonight. It's time to take a look at our State Farm Insurance game plan, brought to you by your local State Farm Insurance agent, Cody Anno, as the Bulldogs hope to start the year 1-0, something they were unable to do a season ago. And in fact, the last 2 seasons, their season opener has been spoiled by the Paola Panthers. Last year, they dropped a 66-49 final. They did rebound to win their next 4 after that season opening loss, but they're hoping tonight that they can start out the year 1-0. And here's our State Farm game plan for the Bulldogs. Take control early. Baldwin, as we talked about, the more experienced team coming back and have a chance to perhaps take control of this game before this new lineup for Paola finds their way. So that's our first key for the Bulldogs, and then establish your roles. Every team, even when you bring guys back and you have 4 of your 5 starters returning, it's still a new season. Guys have made improvements, games have changed, gotten better, whatever the case may be, over the last 7-8 months since you were on the basketball floor. So establish your roles. The earlier you can accomplish that, the quicker you can take off, and that's what the Bulldogs are hoping to do this year, is take off. We'll see if they can do it here on opening night. That's your State Farm Insurance game plan, brought to you by your local State Farm Insurance agent, Cody Anno, who invites you to join them at the golf course on Thursday next week, December 8th. No, not to golf. They're not going out for evening golf this time of year. That would be quite chilly. But the big fella's coming to town. Santa will be at the golf course next Thursday, December 8th, from 5 to 8. Cody Anno and State Farm Insurance wants you to come out and get some free photos with Santa, enjoy free hot chocolate, cookie decorating, and much more. Santa Claus is coming to town Thursday, December 8th with Codiano State Farm over at the Baldwin City Golf Course. Pre-game show from Baldwin State Bank continues right after this.
Hayden Outdoors Real Estate has proudly been serving the Midwest since 1976, covering 29 states and over $1.3 billion in annual sales. Chad and Penny Sheldon are some of the top producing brokers from Baldwin City, Kansas, selling farms, ranches, rural homes, and recreational real estate throughout Kansas. Their knowledge, passion, and expertise will help make your next real estate transaction an excellent experience. Contact Chad or Penny today by phone at 785-821-2666 or by email at shad@haydenoutdoors.com.
Thank you. Can I help you today?
No thanks. I'm just looking. Oh, this is cute. So?
You wouldn't do it there. So don't do it here. Sportsmanship. It's up to you.
Like they're the fashion police.
Welcome back here as the Baldwin State Bank pregame show wraps up. Over 120 years they have helped serve our Baldwin City community. They're going to be there for 120 plus more to help this beautiful community. Go see Baldwin State Bank. Personal service from people who care. That's Baldwin State Bank. As we are getting set for tip-off here tonight, it's time to take a look at our starting lineups. They are brought to you by the Lumberyard Arts Center. For the Paola Panthers, Patrick Reeder, Landon Taylor, Cale Murdoch, Jet Osborne, and Eli Richmond. The starting five tonight for second-year head coach Ryan Oshel, who is assisted by Kyle Patrick and Nick Timish.
Temish, yeah, you're right.
All
That's
right.
it. Yep.
So there's your lineup for the Panthers tonight. For the Baldwin Bulldogs, it looks like they just ran down the numbers. 10, 11, 12, 13. No. Talon Torres. Those are correct. I didn't just, it looks like I just forgot to put the roster in there. Talon Torres, Riker Grossner, Cooper Carr, Caleb Carr, and Sam Darnell as the freshman Cooper Carr gets the start here on opening night alongside his senior brother Caleb Carr. The brothers Carr expected to play a very large role this year for the Bulldogs. The head man for the Dogs, Donnie Blanchett, assisted by Pete Carr and Drew Tribaum. Your starting lineups are brought to you by the Lumberyard Arts Center. As you take a look at their upcoming lineup, don't miss out on all these great events: live music, arts and crafts, unique experiences, youth and adult classes, and so much more at the Lumberyard Arts Center. Online, lumberyardartscenter.org. Your creative home in Baldwin City. It's the Lumberyard Arts Center. All right, so we are set for hoops here in game 2 of the night. Game 1 went right down to the wire. The Baldwin girls a 43-36 winner in the opener. And now the Baldwin boys are going to try to make it a sweep for the Bulldogs here tonight. But the Paola Panthers aren't going to go down easy. The Panthers have won each the last 2 season openers against the Bulldogs. And they lead the all-time series since 06. 16-14 has been very competitive overall, but it's come in stretches. It was Baldwin who dominated, and now recently it's been Paola who has dominated. The Panthers have won 12 of the last 13 since the start of the 2014-15 season. Baldwin's only win during that stretch was back in 19, a 2-point victory on December 6th of 2019. So Baldwin hoping that they can find the win column again here tonight against this very new-looking Paola team, Caleb.
Oh, like you said, brand new. I mean, all 5 starters from a year ago are no longer with this team. There's really not much varsity experience from last year's team that's on this year's team right now. You had DJ Reeder, and then you have Cale Murdoch. That's basically about it when it comes to significant minutes last year from last year's team to this year. So it'll be interesting to see how this new lineup fares with Coach Oshel and this team. But you can't take away athleticism. There's certainly athleticism on this Panther team. All 5 were significant players and football team as well. So, the athleticism's there, but we all know football's a completely different sport than basketball. There's a lot more. What's the word I'm looking for? There's a lot more wind sprinting in basketball than there is in football. You can take 30 seconds to be like, you can settle down. You can't do that in basketball.
Opening tip is brought to you by the Baldwin City Recreation Commission. Sign up today for Biddy Basketball Youth Clinic for kindergartners through second graders. Learn basketball skills and drills alongside these same Bulldogs you're watching on the floor tonight. The Biddy Basketball Clinic from BCRC with the Baldwin High School basketball teams. Registration deadline is December 31st. Each kid gets their own basketball to keep as well. Register at baldwinrec.org or stop by the office downtown at 705 High Street. It's Darnell for Baldwin, Richmond for Paola, and here we go. Paola controls the opening tap, and the Panthers, a dominant win on opening night a year ago against the Bulldogs. Now on the road with a fresh new team and an offensive turnover to start the ball game as Patrick Reeder is called for the travel.
Just not the start the Panthers wanted. You don't want to have a turnover on the first time you touch the ball. Unfortunately, that's what happened. See if the Panthers defense can get a stop on their own here.
Now Carr, he is the creator on this offense, and this is the younger Carr. And how about that? Darnell to Cooper Carr. And a big stage, opening night of the season, the freshman gets the start, and it's the freshman that they go to for the opening points of the season. Backdoor cut, Carr gets a hand on it, but Paola able to control it, and now another travel. So back-to-back turnovers to start this game for Paola, and Baldwin with a 2-point lead already, looking for more as Caleb Carr brings it up the floor. Averaged just under 18 a game last year to go along with 4 assists. Darnell works down the left lane line into some contact, and a foul on it. Looks like Richmond will put Darnell at the free throw line.
Panthers' disastrous start to start this game. 2 turnovers on the offensive end, give up a layup, and now a free throws opportunity on the next possession. Just not a good start at all for the Panthers. Brilliant start for the Bulldogs.
And this is what I had talked about in the Bulldogs State Farm game plan tonight. That fast start. The Bulldogs with 4 of the 5 starters returning. Zembecki, who is a returning starter for the Bulldogs, not starting tonight. And they had a couple of guys who were under the weather a bit, and I'm wondering if Zembecki's down there on the bench, but we'll see if he's playing tonight or whether just switch the lineup up a little bit. Darnell gets 1 out of 2, but they have certainly more returning, and one would assume anyway that the team that returns more guys have a better chance getting off to a fast start on the new season, and so far that looks to be the case. Darnell lobs it up for Grosster, but led him too much. The Bulldogs turn it over for the first time.
Bulldogs certainly want to get out and run and tire out this new lineup for the Panthers. Just unfortunate they're a little too far to handle and cost a turnover.
Paola still looking for their first points, and a 3-pointer is on the way from Murdoch, cleared by Grosner. Bulldogs have worked quick on this, and Torres out of the corner. 3-pointer doesn't drop, and it's rebounded by Osborne for Paola. $3-0 lead early for Baldwin. A bucket for the freshman Cooper Carr, a free throw from Darnell. Shuffled inside to Murdoch. And a tough angle as he tried to contort his body to get that ball up on the rim. It comes back down on his shoulder, but he was standing out of bounds. So Baldwin basketball with 6:11 to go in the first quarter and a 3-0 Bulldog lead.
Bulldogs defense has been superb in the first 2 minutes of this game, forcing 3 turnovers in the first 5 possessions for the Panthers. Panthers just really discombobulated offensively right now. But credit to Baldwin, that's superb defense so far.
Led by one of the best on-ball defenders you'll find in Caleb Carr, and the rest of the group kind of having that intensity rub off on him. Here's Cooper Carr into the corner to Grosner. Cooper back up to his older brother Caleb. He'll direct traffic as he does so well. Up top to Cooper. Pass deflected. Loose, and it ends up in the hands of Paola. Murdoch gets fouled by Cooper Carr.
Much needed turnover there for the Panthers. Not a shooting foul, however, but it is a foul nonetheless. See what the Panthers can do on an out-of-bounds play under the basket.
Baldwin Sports Live presented by Hayden Outdoors. Opening night here of the basketball season. The Baldwin girls with a 43-36 win already. And the Baldwin boys leading 3-0 early on. Osborne swinging all the way around to the left corner now to Richmond. Catch and shoot three from Taylor is banked in, and we're tied at 3.
What time is it? The bank is open at what time?
5:28 left in this first quarter. Talon Torres runner misses. Nearly taken away by Cooper in the backcourt.
Coach Oshel furious with Jed Osborne there. He got the rebound, but then didn't turn all the way around to throw the outlet pass. Fortunate for the Panthers, they maintain possession.
And he will go to the bench, does Osborne. Micah Sanders checks in for him, and now Joey Zimbecki checks in for the first time tonight for the Bulldogs. Zimbecki last year started for the Bulldogs as a sophomore, averaged 4.5 points, 2.5 boards a game. He replaces Torres here in the opening minutes. It's a 3-3 game. Murdoch, little head fake, steps into a nice mid-range jumper there. Offensive rebound is stuck back by Richmond.
Nice job by Richmond on the offensive blast to put the put back in, and the Panthers with their first lead of the season.
5-3 advantage as Zimbecki fires one up out of the corner. Off the leg of Darnell, it looks like, so it will be Paola basketball as the Bulldogs scored in the opening possession. Got a free throw then on the second possession, but have gone cold since. A couple of turnovers mixed in there as well, and Paola has settled in to take a 5-3 lead as J.D. Troutman checks in for the Panthers.
Fast pace to this game so far. Leading the way for the Panthers so far. Now pressure by the Bulldogs.
Reeder picks it up on the baseline. They'll bring it back up top as Troutman swings it right. Open on the wing. Sanders missed 3. Offensive rebound. Taylor and a putback. So the last 2 buckets now for Paola have come on second chance opportunities as Taylor then commits a foul and just across half court. But using back-to-back offensive rebounds and stickbacks to make it 7-3 Paola. 4:29 left to play in this first quarter.
Paola boys taking a page out of the Paola girls by crashing the offensive glass. The only difference is the boys have made the second chance points, unlike the girls in that first game. So far, so good for the Panthers. Bulldogs need a basket.
Caleb Carr goes to work, and an offensive foul will send it the other way. Murdoch leaps up off the hardwood after drawing that charge. First foul on Caleb Carr with 4:22 to go in the quarter, and Paola gets it back up 7-3.
Coach Oshel appreciates the charge by Murdoch, but he doesn't like his little antics afterwards. You don't want to showboat in front of your opposing team that could fire opposing team up.
There's that pressure by Baldwin. Trying to use some defense to get the offense jump-started again. Troutman out of the corner for Sanders. And around and out, that three-pointer goes. Darnell the rebound for Baldwin. Well, Caleb so far now will fire 3. I was going to say has so far become more of a distributor and hasn't really looked to score yet. He averaged 18 a game last year, and there's his first 3 of the new campaign.
It's a big basket for the Bulldogs. It stops a 7-0 Panther run. Get them back within 1.
A foul on Darnell. Unfortunate there for Sam, trying to intercept that pass and just got a piece of the hand of Taylor, who was also jumping in the air and knocked him to the floor. So Darnell picks up his first, 3rd team foul of the Bulldogs. Talon Torres back in for Baldwin. And for Paola, Landon Taylor has re-entered. Paola trailed 3-zip early, then a 7-0 run has given them the lead. They still have it by 1. Backdoor bounce pass to Taylor and a left-handed finish off of the feed by Richmond.
Tremendous play by Richmond and an even better back cut by Landon Taylor. Good offense by the Panthers early in this one.
Darnell at the high post. Spots Torres out of the corner. 3-ball is short. And Richmond the rebound, and Grossner goes through his back to commit the foul. So 4 of the 5 Bulldog starters have now picked up personal foul in this opening quarter.
Both teams are getting good looks offensively. Paola has just taken advantage of them a little bit more so far, and the Panthers have done very, very well on the glass. No second chance opportunities that I recall yet for the Bulldogs.
And the Panthers' looks have come from about 5 feet and in. The Bulldogs, albeit open, good looks at 3, and most of their looks have been coming from the outside. That's 3 off the mark by Troutman. And it will go to the Baldwin Bulldogs with 3:07 left to go in the opening quarter and a 9-6 Paola lead. Carr works right off a screen from Darnell. Jump stop out of the elbow. Back up top and around it goes. And there is another charge on Caleb Carr. This time it's Taylor who draws the charge, and Caleb has picked up his second personal foul, both on offensive player controls.
Boy, the Panthers are just fundamentally sound offensively. That's 2 big charge calls on Bulldogs' best player, Caleb Carr, getting him in foul trouble early. That could prove costly for the Bulldogs like it did for the Panthers in the first game with the ladies, with Calc picking up early fouls.
Well, Caleb is out. Cooper Carr back in for him. J.J. Crawford, a sophomore, has checked in for the first time for Paola. He has it here on the wing. Now back up top, it goes to Taylor. And Sanders, a little off balance, gets rid of it. Deflected, kept alive by Troutman. And there's a travel as Taylor had a little bunny hop before he took off with the dribble.
Yeah, a little sped up there. You see that all the time off tip passes. Everything just falls apart. You try to hustle to get reestablished, and you go too fast, and that's normally what happens. That's a prime example right there with the travel.
Murdoch and Osborne check back in for Paola. Both teams have been heavy with the substitutions, especially Paola here early on. And to play with the pace that's been up and down. And a 3-point lead for Paola. Zembecki from the high post out to Cooper Carr. And then he turns it over, gets caught in the air, trying to fire it out at the corner to Englert. And then he commits his second foul. So both Cooper and Caleb Carr have now picked up 2 fouls in this first quarter. That is 6 team fouls against the Bulldogs.
And that's a silly foul by Cooper Carr there. He made a mistake by throwing it right to Landon Taylor, but then he commits the cardinal sin by fouling Landon Taylor on Paola's side of the floor. So that's 2 quick fouls on both Carr brothers. It's not good for the Bulldogs early.
9-6 Paola. Engler out. Grossner back in for Baldwin. Zembecki almost able to jump that passing lane, but instead Taylor went back door on him, missed the layup, and a foul is called against Paola on the Grossner rebound as Eli Richmond just picked up his second. So the officials trying to calm down the physicality a little bit in this first half. That's 9 fouls already in this first quarter with still 2 minutes to go. 3 different players now have been called for multiple fouls. Cooper Carr, one of them, but he's still on the floor. Long skip out to Grossner. Now Zembecki backs it away. Grossner fires for the wing. Rebound was out there for the taking for a little bit, but J.J. Crawford eventually collects it for Paola.
Bulldogs are getting nothing in the paint so far in this one.
Yeah, that's everything has been 3-point attempts. And there is a 3-point attempt that falls for Patrick Reeder. And it's a 12-6 Paola lead here on the road.
Second 3 of the game for the Panthers. Up 6 early. See if the Baldwin Bulldogs can get something inside. They have really struggled to get anything inside.
They are a guard-oriented team, but it would bode them well to maybe find Darnell in the post here a time or two, if for nothing else, just to force that defense to see something different. As Reeder comes up with another rebound on a missed 3, and Taylor, quick 3 off the mark. And that is going to go to Baldwin, as it was last touched by Paola. There were 2 Bulldogs there, but it was Murdoch the last to touch it.
It's a good look for Landon Taylor, just didn't quite knock it down. Didn't quite get the rebound opportunity, but still good offense by the Panthers in this first quarter.
A 12-6 Paola lead. Baldwin without their creator Caleb Carr on the bench with 2 fouls. Grossner trying to do what we had just talked about, get the ball into the post, but can't do it. They turn it over on the entry.
Chance for the Panthers to take the final shot of this first quarter, already up 6.
Well, the way the first couple of possessions of this game went, Paola will feel extra good about a 6-point lead at worst right now, it looks like, to close out this quarter. 13 seconds left. Taylor takes a look up at the clock. Now he'll start the offense with under 10. Crawford trying to swing it to Reeder, turns it over. So what should have been a 6-point lead at worst for Paola perhaps will be less now, as Baldwin will get the final crack at it with 6.5 seconds to go.
This is a big possession for the Bulldogs. They need something to fall at the end of this quarter.
Cooper Carr into the front court with 3. puts up an off-balance three, and it's not there for him. After one, 12-6 Paola here on Baldwin Sports Live, presented by Hayden Outdoors.
When choosing a bank, wouldn't you prefer doing business with a local institution with years of commitment to our community? That's Baldwin State Bank. For more than 100 years, we've been providing products and services specifically tailored to our friends in Baldwin City. Whether it's a free checking account, savings for retirement, or your next loan, we'll be here. Because our roots are here. Baldwin State Bank, proud supporter of the Baldwin Bulldogs. Come see us downtown or online at baldwinstatebank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Trindle Lumber Company is the go-to stop for every do-it-yourselfer and professional contractor. They carry a wide variety of plumbing, electrical, and hardware products, along with a vast selection of windows, doors, and paint. Their full-service drive-through lumber yard has what you need for every project and offers free estimates and professional delivery. At Trindle Lumber Company, you get the right products with the best service. Stop by at 1516 South Main in Ottawa or call 785-242-8144.
1 quarter in the books tonight, 12-6 Paola on top of the Baldwin Bulldogs. The Panthers come on the road here. They trailed 3-0 right out of the gates, but a 7-0 Paola run gave them their first lead, and they haven't relinquished it. It's now 12-6 as we start this second quarter. Baldwin Sports Live is presented by Hayden Outdoors, the #1 land brokerage for farm, ranch, and recreational properties. Contact Shad and Penny Sheldon at Hayden Outdoors. Go to HaydenOutdoors.com to see all the stunning properties available around here. As that foul is called against Paola on the battle for the rebound. Darnell gets fouled by Jet Osborne.
The Bulldogs have got to find a way to get paint touches. They're settling way too much on the outside shot. The Panther defense is just sagging back, daring you to shoot the three. Or like, hey, Paola's like, hey, we don't think you can knock down a three consistently, but we will not give you any paint touches. Baldwin's got to find a way to fix that.
Baldwin only hit one of those many three-point attempts of the first quarter. That was from Caleb Carr, who starts the second quarter on the bench. And there's Joey Zimbecki, who knocks down a three to make it 12-9. So I agree with you, Caleb. They certainly can't continue to live and die this much by the three, but they definitely needed one, and they get one. And now Murdoch on a backdoor cut. Can't finish it, and then he commits the foul, his first after the miss, and the rebound by Talon Torres.
And that's frustration there for Murdoch. Had a backdoor layup, but he just overcooked it and then commits the frustration foul afterwards. And now Bulldogs have a chance to get within one or tie with a three.
I mentioned Caleb Carr still on the bench. He picked up 2 fouls, both on offensive fouls of the first quarter. Cooper Carr also with 2, has the ball here and has his pass deflected out of bounds as J.D. Troutman checks back in for Paola. 1 tie, 1 lead change in the opening quarter. A large lead of 3 for Baldwin. Largest lead was 6 for Paola. And now Talon Torres buries a 3. So back-to-back triples for the Bulldogs, and we're tied at a dozen.
Defensive breakdown by Landon Taylor. He was not ready for the inbound pass. Torres was wide open and buried the wide open look.
Reeder bounce to Taylor. Finger rolls up and in, and they are really using the backdoor cuts right now to hammer this Bulldog defense. That is a handful of times we've seen him get the backdoor cut for a layup. Taylor called for the foul as he got a little too close to Cooper Carr.
Panthers being a little too aggressive defensively. That's about 3 or 4 times the Panthers have fouled the Bulldogs out near the half-court line. Coach Osho, I'm sure, appreciates the intensity, but he doesn't want to foul a person 40 feet from the basket.
Caden Cohey checks in for the first time for Paola as the Panthers lead it by 2. Will that lead stand? It will not. Joey Zimbecki off of the bench with a pair of threes here in this second quarter, and Baldwin is back in front by a point.
Threes are starting to fall now for the Bulldogs. They were not early. They've hit 3 in a row.
And perhaps, as we've talked about trying to establish a paint touch here and there, perhaps the 3 triples that they've hit will extend that Paola defense a little bit and give them a chance to maybe go inside and get Darnell a touch. Murdoch thinking about the 3. Now kicks it out. And that 3 misses everything short from Cohey. Rebounded by Grossner. Quickly fires it up to Cooper Carr. Back over to Grossner. Has Torres in the corner. Let it fly. No. Darnell the rebound, though. Offensive second chance here for the Bulldogs, and it's Grossner who is fouled, and the bucket goes. Riker Grossner with a nice move with the left hand, and Grossner goes to the line to try to extend what's now a 3-point Baldwin lead.
Bulldogs playing with much more intensity here to start this second quarter, basically like they did to start the game, and then Paola took over the last 5 minutes or so of that first quarter. See if Baldwin can maintain their aggressive nature.
Grossner gets the roll on the free throw to make it 18-14 Bulldogs, 6-0 run for Baldwin. Murdoch angling in, flips it over his head to Cohey, and he's rejected by Darnell. Outlet up to Grossner, nice find to Zimbecki, and Joey Zimbecki with a big second quarter going. That's 8 for Zimbecki in the period. 8-0 run, Baldwin, timeout, Paola. 20-14 Bulldogs as the Baldwin offense comes alive here in this second period, spurred by Joey Zimbecki. Bulldog basketball on Baldwin Sports Live, brought to you in part by Rice Precision Manufacturing. If you're looking for a great job with a growing family-owned company, then check out Rice Precision Manufacturing, actively looking to fill positions for skilled CNC machinists and CNC operators. They offer excellent pay, competitive benefit packages, a climate-controlled work environment, and a friendly support staff that's dedicated to the betterment of their employees. Send an email to jobs@riceprecision.com. 5:38 left to play in this first half. And what was a 6-point deficit to start the quarter has turned into a 6-point lead for Baldwin. 14-2 advantage for the Bulldogs in this second quarter.
Yeah, they have played very well in the first 2.5 minutes of this second quarter, just flying around. They've knocked down about 3 or 4 threes in this third quarter. They got a couple paint touches and a couple layups as well. The Panthers defense has just been scrambling in this second quarter, not getting anything offensively. This game is completely flipped in the second quarter compared to the first quarter.
And they've done it all with their leader Caleb Carr on the bench, who picked up his second foul in the latter parts of the first quarter, came out of the game, has not come back into the game. And it hasn't mattered to this point in this quarter as the Bulldogs have extended the lead to a game-high 6 for them. Good finish there by Micah Sanders. Looked like he either kind of lost the handle on that or got hit on the arm, perhaps. Either way, it was a little bit funky looking, but it goes in, and Sanders ends that 8-0 Bulldog run with that bucket.
That's a big bucket for Sanders and the Panthers. Maybe that'll settle them down, try to get them back in the game.
Dumped into Darnell. He is triple-teamed. And get it back outside now. Torres, quick ball movement to Grossner. Missed the 3. And rebounded by Sanders for Paola. And then they turn it over in the backcourt. Zimbecki the steal. Carr, nice little hesitation. Drive, kiss, and an offensive foul on Cooper Carr. That's his third.
That's the third charge that Landon Taylor has taken in this ballgame. What a big play defensively that is for the Panthers. Instead of an and-one free throw opportunity for Cooper Carr, now he picks up his third foul in this first half, and that could be troublesome for the Bulldogs.
So he goes to the bench. Ryder Nye comes in. Now, it's not a rule in high school basketball. There is no restricted area. You can draw a charge anywhere on the floor. Had we be playing any other level of basketball, that's an automatic block. He was a little bit deep, I thought, but there is, again, that's not a rule. So as long as the defender's set and he's positioned himself, you can draw a charge right underneath the bucket. And it's a tough break for Cooper Carr on what was otherwise a very nice move to the bucket. Here's a foul on the Bulldogs' Talon Torres, and that will put Reeder at the line for Paola for a 1-and-1 as the Bulldogs commit their 8th team foul.
First free throws of the game for the Panthers.
And Baldwin's only attempted 3, so it has been a relatively clean game in that regard. We've had some fouls, but both teams were in a hurry, it seemed like, to get up towards that bonus, and then they just stopped fouling after that, and all the fouls prior to getting to the bonus were of the non-shooting variety for the most part, as Reeder misses the second, so 1 out of 2 makes this a 20-17 ball game. Zembecki holds it at the top of the key. He has been the spark in this second quarter. He has 8 of the Bulldogs' 14. Torres has hit a 3 as well and almost had a second. That one rattles in and out, and Eli Richmond clears it for Paola.
It's a tough break for Torres. That was a good-looking stroke. Just popped out on him. Break for the Panthers.
Nice little hesitation on the drive by Reeder. He stopped for a moment like he was going to retreat back to the corner, and it opened it up for him to hit the reverse and pull Paola within 1 with under 4 to go in the half.
That was a pretty little up and under move by Reeder to get the Panthers back within a point, like you said.
Zembecki almost got himself caught in the air, but found his outlet in Groston. That's deflected out of bounds, and here comes Caleb Carr back into the lineup. So that was nearly a quarter break for Carr. He went out about this time in the first quarter, and now he's back in here with 3:45 to go in the half, but they really need Caleb to play clean. Englert also joins him in the lineup. Carr 3 points so far in this game on a 3 back at the first quarter, but has not had a chance to really get a rhythm going yet because of the early charges called against him. Zembecki open top of the key, and Joey Zembecki with 11. It's a career-high scoring performance already from Zembecki, and we haven't even reached halftime.
Panthers in that zone defense, just daring Baldwin to shoot the 3, and they have hit him well in this second quarter. Hence why they have the 4-point lead, and now a costly turnover right there.
Yeah, those 3-point shots taketh away in the first. They have giveth here in the second quarter for the Bulldogs. They have found the range. 3 of their 4 threes in this second quarter, though, have come from this man, Joey Zembecki, who gives it up to Carr, goes on the attack and scoops it in. So Caleb Carr hoping to get going here for the Bulldogs. Makes it 25-19 with 3 minutes to play in the second. Quick 3 that time from Reeder. And a long rebound out of bounds to the Baldwin cheerleaders. The Bulldogs take over up 6 with 2:58 to play in the half.
That's an ill-advised shot by Patrick Reeder there. Quick 3. Not what Coach Olschel wants offensively, especially with the run that Baldwin's been on the last minute or so.
Working for the high post, Caleb Carr out to Nye, into the corner to Zembecki. Skip to Englert. Now Carr will retreat, directs traffic. Loves to penetrate, attack the basket, but now with 2 fouls, maybe have to pull off a little bit on that. And Joey Zembecki, no reason to pull off going to him. Zembecki with 4 first-half triples, 14 in the half, all in this quarter for Zembecki, and it's 28-19 Bulldogs. Missed 3, coming back the other way. Baldwin a chance. It's Carr, chased down from behind and knocked away by Taylor. Good hustle play there by Landon Taylor to allow his defense a chance to at least set up and force the Bulldogs to execute in the half court.
Tremendous hustle play by Landon Taylor. Bulldogs had 2 guys up ahead of the Panther defense, but Landon Taylor made a tremendous effort to knock that ball away, prevent a basket. Now a timeout's been called.
A second 8-0 run in this first half for Baldwin. They opened up a 20-14 lead. Paola trimmed it all the way back down to 1 at 20-19, and now another 8-0 spurt by the Bulldogs. And yet again, it's Joey Zembecki leading the way. 14, a career high for Zembecki with 2:13 still to play in the first half. Bulldog basketball brought to you in part by the Bullpen, your locally owned sports bar in downtown Baldwin City. Open 11 a.m. through 2 a.m. Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Sundays. It's the perfect place to go before, during, or after the game. There's always game time down at the Bullpen. Follow on Facebook at Bullpen Baldwin City for all the latest happenings at your local sports bar in downtown Baldwin City, the Bullpen. We have 2 minutes and 13 seconds left to play in this first half. A game that Paola led by 6 at the end of 1, but they now trail by 9 with 2:13 left to play in this first half. Inbound to Zembecki. Up top it comes back to Caleb Carr, who's been more of a distributor when he's been on the floor. And here he goes on the attack off the dribble. All the way into the paint, back out to Englert, who fires up a 3 short. Richmond the board.
Boy, the Baldwin Bulldogs do not shy away from the three-point line. They have had to attempt at least 15 threes, it seems like, in this first half.
Yeah, they are run and gun. They love the three-point shot. When it's falling, it's really good. And first quarter, we saw that it wasn't falling. It wasn't very good, 6 points. Second quarter, it's been falling, 22 points for the Bulldogs in this second frame.
And now here's a chance for the Panthers as Richmond's going to go to the free throw line as got a foul inside. And the Panthers need to find a way to get this down to a 5 or 4 point lead before half.
The foul is on Darnell, so that's now his second. He and Cooper are Caleb Carr with 2 apiece, Cooper Carr with 3, and the other 2 starters, Torres and Grossner, each with 1 for the Bulldogs. Front end of the 1-and-1 is missed, but an offensive rebound by Osborne, and he's able to stick it back. So they take advantage. Despite the missed free throw, they come up with 2 points out of the trip.
Good hustle by Osborne to fight through to get the offensive board and the putback, get the Panthers within 7.
That ball knocked out of bounds by Taylor. Grossner checks back in for Baldwin. Cohee checks back in for Paola.
Landon Taylor has been a pest defensively for the Bulldogs. He is so quick with his hands. He's got really good hands. He's the DeJuan Harris type for this Panther defense.
Yeah, he and Caleb Carr are kind of one and the same in that regard. So it's interesting that they're both guarding each other because they both make a habit of wreaking havoc on their opponents on the on-ball defense, and they're both giving each other a taste of their own medicine here tonight. And so far, Taylor the more effective. And here is Taylor with a steal. The lay-in makes it a 5-point game with 1:16 left in the half. 11 first-half points for Taylor.
That's not what you want to do as a Baldwin player. You don't want to have a lob pass back towards your own basket. That's usually what happens to you when you do that. Easy layup for Taylor. Panthers within 5.
Carr goes baseline, and he is fouled by Reeder. It was Murdoch who hit the deck, but I believe they're going to get Reeder from behind, and they will. So that's Patrick Reeder's second. And the 8th team foul. It'll be a shooting foul. 2 shots coming up for Caleb Carr, who was a 70% free throw shooter a year ago for the Bulldogs. He got to the line a ton, took 170 free throws in 21 games last year.
That's impressive.
Shot 70% of the line on his way to scoring just under 18 points per game for the Bulldogs. Led the team in scoring, led the team in assists, led the team in steals, led the team in threes, led the team in free throws. And he is expected to once again be right at the forefront of this Baldwin program here in his senior season. Was named second team All-League last year, honorable mention All-State as a junior. His senior campaign did not get off to the start he was probably envisioning tonight, with a couple of early fouls and some bench time next to his pops over there on the Baldwin bench. Pete Carr, one of the assistants for the Bulldogs, but he has settled in here in this second quarter, goes 1 of 2 at the line. And it's a 29-23 Bulldog lead. Contested long 2 is good for Jed Osborne. Not really the most high efficiency type shot there. Deep as you can, 2 contested, but it counts. And now Zembecki, who's been red hot in the first half, can't get that 3 to go. Murdoch the board for Paola. Caleb knocked it out of his hands, but Taylor collects it. Panthers have it with under a half minute to go in the second quarter, down by 4. They have trailed by as many as 9 in this second period, so Paola's done a great job to get right back into this game and not feel like they're too far behind here in the waning seconds. Under 10 to go now. Taylor up top to Osborne. Out to Sanders. Inside Murdoch with 3 to shoot. Misses the hook shot, rebounded by Grossner, and we have reached the half. 29-25, Baldwin by 4. The Farm Bureau Financial Services halftime show is next.
Kelly Neufeld and his team at Farm Bureau Financial Services are there to help you protect what matters most in your life. From insurance plans customized to fit everything you need covered, to comprehensive financial planning to help you achieve your goals both present and future. Kelly works uniquely with you face-to-face to gain confidence in your financial well-being. Call 785-594-1055 to set up a meeting with Kelly Neufeld at Farm Bureau Financial Services in Baldwin City. It's your future. Let's protect it.
Hayden Outdoors Real Estate has proudly been serving the Midwest since 1976, covering 29 states and over $1.3 billion in annual sales. Chad and Penny Sheldon are some of the top producing brokers from Baldwin City, Kansas, selling farms, ranches, rural homes, and recreational real estate throughout Kansas. Their knowledge, passion, and expertise will help make your next real estate transaction an excellent experience. Contact Chad or Penny today by phone at 785-821-2666 or by email at shad@haydenoutdoors.com.
For unbeatable service from a company you can trust, there's only one choice. Clint Davis and the One Choice Heating and Air Conditioning team have the expertise you need when it comes to the comfort of your family. Not only will they get the job done right, but they'll explain the preventative maintenance needed to avoid those costly emergency repairs. To schedule a free quote, call 785-393-9329 and join the Preferred Maintenance Club for special discounts. One Choice Heating and Air Conditioning, the one and only choice for the comfort of your family.
Welcome into the Farm Bureau Financial Services halftime show. There to help you protect what matters most. That's Kelly Neufeld and his team at Farm Bureau Financial Services. Call 785-594-1055 to set up a meeting and see how Kelly and his team can help you achieve your financial goals, both present and future. A first half that had 2 ties, 2 lead changes. Baldwin the early lead. Paola took a 7-3 lead then and led 12-6 at the end of the first quarter, but the Bulldogs, a big second quarter, outscoring Paola 23-13 in that second period, including a pair of 8-0 runs, leading by as many as 9 at one point. But despite having a 9-point lead with under 2 minutes to go in the half, Paola able to close out that first half on a 6-1 run to get that deficit down to just 4. So that is where we stand here at the break. 29-25, Paola on top of Baldwin. Your first half numbers are coming up right after this word from our halftime show sponsor, Farm Bureau Financial Services.
Kelly Neufeld and his team at Farm Bureau Financial Services are there to help you protect what matters most in your life. From insurance plans customized to fit everything you need covered to comprehensive financial planning to help you achieve your goals both present and future. Kelly works uniquely with you face-to-face to gain confidence in your financial well-being. Call 785-594-1055 to set up a meeting with Kelly Neufeld at Farm Bureau Financial Services in Baldwin City. It's your future. Let's protect it.
Farm Bureau Financial Services halftime show continues on. 29-25 our score here at the break. It's the Baldwin Bulldogs on top of the Paola Panthers. It's time to check the numbers, brought to you by New Frontier Tax and Business Services at 608 High Street in Baldwin City, where they'll help you confidently tackle tax season, even the highly specific situations. They'll help make sense of it all and meet your critical business needs with minimal investment, timely, accurate, and reliable services, all at an affordable cost to help your business grow and succeed. Visit newfrontiertbs.com or call 785-594-1204. The Bulldogs in that first half led by Joey Zimbecki. Started the majority of the year a season ago. Came off of the bench here tonight on opening night, and boy did he ever come off that bench. 14 points for Zimbecki, all in the second quarter, along with a pair of assists as well. A huge second period for Zimbecki. He leads all scores in the game. That's already a career high. Zimbecki's previous career high was 9, and he bests that and then some with 14 first half points. Talon Torres, Riker Grossner each with 3, Caleb Carr with 6, and Sam Darnell with 1. Cooper Carr as well with 2 points. The leading rebounder for the Bulldogs was Sam Darnell with 5, and it was Caleb Carr and Joey Zimbecki and Riker Grossner each with 2 assists to lead the Bulldogs. For Paola, top scorer was Landon Taylor, 11 points. 7 of the 11 came in quarter number 1. Patrick Reeder added 6 to go along with 4 from Jed Osborne and 2 apiece from Micah Sanders and Eli Richmond. Richmond, the leading rebounder, along with Jed Osborne, they each pulled down 4 first half boards. And Patrick Reeder, along with Eli Richmond, each with an assist to lead the Panthers. Overall, the free throw line was pretty much non-impactful for both sides. Baldwin only shot 5. They made 3 out of their 5. Paola only attempted 3 first half free throws. They went 1 of 3 at the stripe. Turnovers pretty even. 6 for the Panthers, 7 for the Bulldogs in that first half, as the Panthers had a lead at the end of one, but they relinquished the lead. We're down by as many as 9 in the second quarter. Have it back to 4 here as we get set to go to the second half. So 29-25, our halftime score here as we look ahead to the second half. Caleb, what do we have in store in this final 16 minutes of what's so far been very competitive basketball?
I think you're going to have pretty much the same as you might see Paola try to go man-to-man defense now because they played zone most of that first half. And you talk about feast or famine from 3. That's what Baldwin was in that first half. They were awful from 3 in the first quarter, making just 1 of like 7 or 8 in that first quarter. And then they feasted on the 3 in the second quarter, making 4 or 5, including like 3 or 4 in a row. So it's nip and tuck what you're going to do for the Panthers defensively. Do you go zone and try to keep them from getting paint touches and let them live or die from the 3, or do you try to make man-to-man and guard the three-point line where they can try to get points behind you if they get paint touches? And as far as the Panthers offensively, pretty much do what you've been doing. You're getting a lot of paint touches. You're getting paint touched left and right. Just got to be able to knock down an outside shot every now and then. They've struggled from the outside shots. Paola's been more effective inside. Baldwin's been more effective outside. So I think you're going to have pretty much the same as what you did in the first half.
Yeah, which side which way of playing, I guess, will win out in this one. Baldwin's certainly going to have to keep Caleb Carr on the floor as well. They lost him for about 7 minutes of that first half action. When he was in there, though, when he was out of there is when they kind of made their run to open the lead.
Yep.
But Paola then got back into the game, and then it was Caleb who helped push that second 8-0 Baldwin run to push that lead back up.
And I really think that little spurt that Paola had at the end of the half was big time. The Panthers were down 9, not much going offensively, and then they outscored Baldwin 6-1 in like the last 2 minutes of that first half to get it back down to 4, and now you're in the game. Panthers look like they get the ball first to start the second half, so they have a chance to get it down to a one-score game right away. But it's been a very competitive game. It's been a fun game, to say the least.
Yeah, basketball, obviously, it's always a game of runs, and we had that in the first half. Paola with a 7-0 run and a 6-1 run. Baldwin with a pair of 8-0 runs. Who gets that last run? That may be what it comes down to here as we go to the second half. 29-25. Baldwin the lead on top of Paola. You've been watching the Farm Bureau Financial Services halftime show, brought to you by Kelly Neufeld. Give them a call at 785-594-1055. Proud supporters of the Baldwin Bulldogs is Kelly Neufeld of the Farm Bureau Financial Services team in Baldwin City. It's your future. Let's protect it.
Hers Incorporated in Spring Hill is your area's premier small engine repair shop. Before you replace that faulty trimmer or mower, let our experts get you back to work. And if you are in the market for a new handheld, we carry Maruyama and Red Max trimmers. Plus, Hers is still the best place for hydraulic hoses, cylinder repair, and mechanical control cables. If that's not enough, we're also a UPS drop-off location. To learn more, visit us at hersinc.net, call 913-247-3530, or just stop on by.
Dr. Philip Harvey at Oral Surgery Kansas is a proud supporter of the Baldwin Bulldogs. Dr. Harvey and his staff wish all of the Bulldogs the best of luck this year as you continue to make Baldwin City proud. Oral Surgery Kansas provides personalized, gentle, comprehensive patient care for a wide range of oral surgery procedures. To learn more, visit oralsurgerykansas.com or call 785-843-5490. Oral Surgery Kansas, cheering on the Baldwin Bulldogs.
Off the second half we go tonight, 29-25. Baldwin on top of Paola. We had a great game, a competitive game in the opener of this doubleheader tonight. The Baldwin girls winning over the Paola girls 43-36. That game came right down to the wire. It was a one-possession game with under a minute to go before Baldwin hit some free throws down the stretch to win that one by 7. And perhaps the nightcap is ticketed for that same type of a finish. A 4-point game here as we start the second half. Kayla Butler, Bryce Kessler here with you on Baldwin Sports Live, presented by Hayden Outdoors, simulcasting tonight over on the Paola Sports Live channel as well. So glad to have all the Panther fans watching the broadcast here tonight as well. And buckle up, should be a fun second half. Here we go. It's Paola to control the opening possession of the half, down by 4. They led by as many as 6 in the first half, trailed by as many as 9, and they turn it over to start the half. Caleb Carr the steal. Feed to Darnell. Sam into the paint, and a foul is called on Eli Richmond. That's his third. And early free throws to start the second half coming up from Sam Darnell.
Darnell a little gimpy getting up after taking that bump, walking around gingerly back at the three-point line here, but basically the same carbon copy to the start of the game so far here in the second half. Panthers turned it over on the first 2 possessions in the first half, turned it over here. Free throws here for Baldwin.
So you're saying I should expect a turnover next time down?
Nope, I hope not.
Darnell misses the first free throw. The Bulldogs now just 3 out of 6. Darnell was kind of flexing that left ankle, as Caleb mentioned, came up a little bit gingerly after that foul, so he will look to convert one of the 2 free throws anyway, and unable to do so. Murdoch the rebound for Paola. The Panthers were a +4 on the glass in the first half. They'll make them +5 now for the game as Patrick Reeder ends up traveling, and there you go. Your man, Caleb Butler, put it on you guys.
No. Yeah, carbon copy of the first half. 2 turnovers to start the half for the Panthers.
Well, other than Baldwin didn't score on their first possession of the half like they did last time, and now a carry is called on Caleb Carr.
No, they scored. They just didn't get a field goal. Like, start the game. They got a free throw.
Well,
they didn't. They missed
the free throws, yeah. So 29-25 it remains. 3 turnovers already in this opening 40 seconds. And a little floater from Richmond falls off. Torres, the board for the Bulldogs.
Good look for Richmond, just kind of alligator armed it and shorted it.
Dangerous pass there, but Caleb found the target. Torres had to get rid of it, lest he dragged the pivot foot and avoids what had turnover ticketed all on that one. Now here's Carr going to work, and the seas part for him, allows him to get all the way to the bucket and lay it in, plus the foul. So Caleb Carr able to score on the drive and a chance to make it a 3-point play to start this second half of the Bulldogs.
And Coach Oshel is wondering the same thing, what you just said, how the seas parted there. Just the whole defense just shifted up the lane, left a wide open lane for Caleb Carr to get the layup and plus the foul. So, and that's 3 fouls now on Richmond as well. So that's troublesome for the Panthers inside, especially.
Carr completes the 3-point play. 9 points now from Caleb, and it is 32-25. Baldwin, 6:40 to play, third quarter. A long way to go in this one. As Baldwin defense, pressuring Taylor out near midcourt, and they commit the foul, and that is Cooper Carr, who picks up his 4th.
And he knew it right away. He had the hands to his head like, oh my goodness, what'd I do? That's 4 fouls on me. But he's got to stay in the game. The substitution didn't come quick enough.
So the freshman making his debut started out oh so good. An opening possession bucket for Cooper Carr, but he has since found himself into some foul troubles as Grossner collects the rebound of the missed 3 from Paola.
Good look from Osborne. It looked like a pretty good looking shot, just came up a little short on that.
They'll give and go, and right to the rack goes Carr on the feed by Darnell.
Caleb Carr's really starting to make his presence felt now. Ties the biggest lead of the game for the Bulldogs.
Has a nose for getting to the basket, and that's one of the things he does so well is move after the pass. As a defender, a lot of times when your guy gives up the ball, for just that half second, you kind of take a pause as Taylor follows it up once, twice, 3 times, and the foul is on the floor. But if you fall asleep for any moment when you're defending Carr, he'll get by it to the rim, and Taylor, very similar type player on the other side for Paola, wondering, what do I have to do to get that darn nugget to go through that hoop?
That's it. And another big part, that's Darnell's 3rd foul for the Bulldogs as well. So 2 players in foul trouble for the Bulldogs.
Darnell with 3, Caleb Carr with just 2. I say just 2 because he had 2 in the first quarter, but has since played clean. And then, of course, Cooper Carr with 4. This is a nice little turnaround hook from Osborne, tapped out. Another chance for Paola. Floater is short. Reeder followed it up, and he is fouled on what was about the 15th field goal attempt of this trip down the floor, it feels like, for Paola. They continue to just crash the offensive glass hard.
Yeah, they're certainly getting the offensive chances They're just not knocking them down. Maybe Reeder can knock some free throws down here at the line, but so many opportunities on that possession.
Paola fans are saying, hey, we heard a lot about that in game one. The Paola girls had the same problems. They did not have any issue getting the offensive rebounds, but had a lot of issues converting on them. And Paola on the boys' side here, again, has won the battle of the glass in this game. But just 1 point to show for all of that as Reeder hits 1 of 2 at the line. Caleb wraps the pass to Darnell, spots Torres in the corner, fires a 3 and drills it. 37-26 Baldwin.
Kind of an unorthodox looking shot from Torres, but it goes in most of the time.
Looking for the answer, but Troutman misses everything. Saved by Taylor into the hands of Reeder, and he fumbles it out of bounds, but it will stay here. Last touch by Baldwin.
Boy, the effort is certainly there for Landon Taylor. He has been everywhere for the Panthers on the offensive glass, defensively. Saves another possession for the Panthers.
Panthers down 11, their largest deficit of the ball game. Led by 6 after 1. Now playing from behind. 2 ties, 2 lead changes so far tonight. Reeder on the drive, deflected out by Darnell.
Tough drive there by Reeder. Got nowhere to go with it. Got bailed out by throwing it off of Baldwin defender to save the possession.
Sanders. Up top, Murdoch, now Reeder. Sanders guarded by Zimbecki. Kick out to Troutman. Floater off left iron. Taylor again misses a putback try. Another opportunity, this time Reeder able to capitalize.
Well, the Panthers were fortunate to get a bucket there. That was a gimme for Landon Taylor. He missed it, but right there to get the cleanup was Reeder to put it back in.
37-28. Torres again, no shot. Offensive foul on Caleb Carr, who has 3 fouls now, and they have all been on the offensive side of the floor.
And just the aggressiveness getting to Caleb Carr there. That's, like you said, that's the 3rd offensive foul Caleb Carr has committed in this game. It has not hurt Baldwin yet, as it seemed like the run, like you said, really got started when he got those 2 fouls in that first quarter, and then Baldwin took off, but he's going to stay on the floor here, see if the Panthers can get some momentum back and get closer in this game.
And Donnie Blanchett going to keep his senior leader out there and say, hey, we need you, so you got to play smart. As Paola tries to work their way back. Taylor from the top of the key, off the mark. Was online, but just a bit strong. Another offensive rebound. It gives Murdoch a chance out of the corner, and Sanders gets caught with the official staring right at him with a push in the back of the Baldwin player. They're trying to gather that rebound.
Boy, if you're a Panther fan, you got to love the effort that they're showing out there, especially on the offensive glass. Just can't get the second chance opportunities to go down, just like pretty much like the girls' game in the first go-around.
Which is also a dangerous game to be playing if you're Baldwin, to continue to give this many opportunities. You feel like at some point, Paola is going to start capitalizing on a few of these. Darnell spins into the paint, may have taken one too many steps. He did. He turns it over for the 10th time in this ball game. Well, not he. He has not turned it over 10 times, but the team has.
About to say, man, if you got 10 turnovers by yourself, that's
I don't want to put
good.
that one on you, Sammy. 37-28. Baldwin by 9 with 3:43 to go in the third.
Panthers got to find a way to get some sustained offense. Been really sloppy this third quarter.
Taylor doubled, trying to kick it out, but Darnell able to get the deflection and the steal. Up to Zimbecki, who was huge in the first half of the Bulldogs. There's his first bucket of the second half to continue to extend a career night with 16 points off of the bench.
He's been fabulous tonight for the Bulldogs. He's been the spark plug. As good as Caleb Carr has been, Zimbecki's been the one that started this whole thing.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Without Zimbecki's play in the second quarter, the Bulldogs, who knows where they would be at when Paola had the momentum in the lead. Sanders had that one partially blocked, it looked like, but it's Taylor yet again that keeps it alive. And Taylor with another beautiful offensive rebound, but it just won't go for him. Up to Darnell, lay it in to make it 41-28. As the effort and the ability on the offensive glass right now for the Paola Panthers is just simply not being rewarded. And the Bulldogs now up 13, largest lead of the game. And a timeout is taken by Paola with 2:44 left to go in the third quarter. It's the Bulldogs 41, the Paola Panthers 28. You're watching Bulldog basketball on Baldwin Sports Live, presented by Hayden Outdoors.
Hey, where you going? Can't get by me. I'm number one in this class. I rule this lab. I'm number one. Hey, I don't think so. Yes! Winner! I am the king! Woo!
You wouldn't do it there. So, don't do it here. Sportsmanship. It's up to you.
What?
Jerk.
41-28 Baldwin lead, 2:44 left to play in the third. Bulldog basketball on Baldwin Sports Live, presented by Hayden Outdoors Real Estate, your #1 land brokerage for farm, ranch, and recreational properties. They've got a perfect modern farmhouse that's available just outside of Baldwin right now. Got to see it at HaydenOutdoors.com. This newly remodeled home sits on nearly 3.8 acres of tree-lined undeveloped farm ground. Contact Shad or Penny Sheldon at Hayden Outdoors. Send an email to shad@HaydenOutdoors.com or penny@HaydenOutdoors.com. The #1 land brokers here in Baldwin City for Hayden Outdoors, the best in the business. Send them an email and see what they have. If you're looking to sell or if you're looking for your next dream property, they've got what you need. 41-28, Baldwin by 13 as Paola takes the timeout, looking for an answer out of the timeout here, and instead they turn it over. Carr the steal, Carr the leads, and Becky with 18 off of the bench.
Panthers starting to get a little tired legs out there. The Bulldogs have really ramped up the energy in this second half, opening it to 15 points. Panthers are up against it.
Left short, follow is short as well, and my, oh my, that has been the kind of second half for Paola. Effort and opportunity both have been high. Results just have not followed. The putbacks right at the rim just won't go for him. And now Reeder able to strip that one from Darnell and force the turnover. Paola turns the Bulldogs away, but the Panthers down 15. They've got to get something through the hoop on this end, or they're in danger of putting themselves into a hole they do not want to try and climb out of in the fourth quarter. Down 15 here with 1:30 to go in the third. Three-pointer on the money for Jed Osborne, so very much needed, and Osborne delivers.
Big-time shot for Jed Osborne right there.
Nye up top to Englert. The Bulldogs take a little air out of it here, up 12 with 1:13 to go in the third. Carr, a little hesitation around the top of the key. Floater and rims off. Rebounded by Reeder.
If the Panthers can get this down to single digits, they feel pretty confident about going to the fourth. There's a bad turnover right there.
Looking to kick it back out to Osborne, who had just hit a three, and Richmond perhaps thinking he was going to spot up for the three, instead cut to the basket. So turnover back to Baldwin as Garrett McLaughlin checks in for the first time tonight for the Bulldogs. McLaughlin, a 6'1 sophomore. Sanders returning along with Cohee for Paola. Caleb Carr brings it into the front court for Baldwin. Up a dozen, under a minute to play in the third. Carr able to slice through defenders. A foul on the floor. The ball went through the hoop, but it was whistled dead prior to. It's on 34. Guys, I thought they were showing 33. It's on Richmond. That's his fourth, and he'll check out of the game. Patrick Reeder, who had just come out, comes right back in.
That's 4 fouls now, like you said, on Richmond, who has been a non-factor for the most part in this game.
2 points, 4 boards for Richmond, and there's Talon Torres matching his career high with 8 points. The junior, first bucket from inside the arc there. It's 45-31 Baldwin. 35 seconds left to play in this third quarter, and Grossner almost took it away, kept alive by Reeder. Murdoch hesitates, pulls up from 8, off the front iron. Offensive rebound, Troutman. 15 to shoot. Down to 6 for Sanders. Floater, in and out. McLaughlin ties it up with Cohey into the corner. 45-31. Baldwin will take a 14-point lead into the fourth here on Baldwin Sports Live, presented by Hayden Outdoors.
State Farm Insurance Agent Cody Anno is ready to be there for you every step of the way. From starting policies out to the day disaster strikes, Cody and his team are ready to help. Cody strives to be different, doing things the other people don't and other agencies won't, helping more people in more ways. That's Cody Anno State Farm. Call 785-594-0270 or stop by at 208 Baker Street for a cup of coffee and a free quote for your auto, home, or life insurance with Cody Anno, your local State Farm insurance agent in Baldwin City.
Trindle Lumber Company is the go-to stop for every do-it-yourselfer and professional contractor. They carry a wide variety of plumbing, electrical, and hardware products, along with a vast selection of windows, doors, and paint. Their full-service drive-through lumber yard has what you need for every project and offers free estimates and professional delivery. At Trindle Lumber Company, you get the right products with the best service. Stop by at 1516 South Main in Ottawa or call 785-242-8144.
A 16-6 advantage in the third quarter for Baldwin has helped extend the Bulldog lead to 14 as we head to the fourth. It's 45-31 Baldwin on top of Paola here on Baldwin Sports Live, presented by Hayden Outdoors. Welcome our Paola Sports Live viewers as well, as we are simulcasting the one broadcast over on the Paola Sports Live channel tonight as well. And it is a 14-point Baldwin lead as we start this final period. Grossner, Zembecki, Caleb Carr, Torres, and Darnell for the Bulldogs. And Taylor, Reeder, Sanders, Murdoch, and Osborne for the Panthers. Grossner, three-pointer misfired, rebounded by Murdoch for Paola.
Kind of an ill-advised shot there. I'm not sure you want to be taking three-point shots when you're up 14 points in the fourth quarter. Not sure that's what Coach wants for the Bulldogs.
Or at least maybe not that early of a three-point shot. It's one thing to work the ball around, take an open three-point shot, after you've milked 30 seconds off the clock. One pass and fire, perhaps not. Foul on Talon Torres, his third. 15th foul of the second half. And that's travel. 11 turnovers apiece.
A little too quick for Reeder right there. He had the driving lane. He saw it open up. He just left too early. And it's a painful turnover for the Panthers.
Yeah, right now, possessions is they're going to call an over and back here on Darnell. He never established himself back into the backcourt. The question here becomes, and I think the Bulldogs have a case to be made. I'm not sure the ball ever actually crossed half court. It was close. Regardless, doesn't matter. It's called over and back, and it's a 12th Baldwin turnover.
Opportunity for the Panthers to get a bucket here to try to put a little bit of pressure on the Bulldogs. Time is running out, but Panthers still have an outside chance of getting back in this one. We saw the girls do it in the first game. See if the boys can do it in this one.
Now, wasn't much of a different situation in that game, but every possession becomes important for Paola. Cannot afford many empty trips, or at least not empty trips followed by buckets on the other side. Osborne will have a chance at the free throw line to come away with some points here, as that foul is charged to Sam Darnell. It's his fourth. Osborne, 7 points, make it 8 points. Going along with 5 rebounds tonight. Solid debut effort here in the new season for the senior Jet Osborne. Zembecki with the board. Here come the Bulldogs up by 13.
Man, how good has Zembecki been tonight for the Bulldogs?
Whew, where would they be without him, right? He has been excellent. 18 points, a couple of assists as well. The Bulldogs will take a timeout here to avoid a potential turnover situation. Don't forget, the bullpen in downtown Baldwin City has all kinds of things happening. Check out Wildcat Wednesday specials. Go out there and dust off the vocal cords on Karaoke Thursdays. Live entertainment on many of the Friday and Saturday nights. And, of course, there's sports on every television all the time. It's the Bullpen in downtown Baldwin City, open Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 2 a.m., Sundays 10 to 8 at your locally owned sports bar with the classic ballpark food in downtown Baldwin City at the Bullpen. What's the karaoke go-to song for Caleb Butler? You look like you got a you can go up there and warble a good karaoke song.
I can sing some karaoke, probably anything George Strait, probably.
All right.
That's my go-to.
Bringing the house down with some George Strait.
I'll throw everybody for a loop, too, by doing Sound of Silence by Disturbed, too.
Okay. 7 minutes left to play in this one. 13-point Baldwin lead. And the turnover is Zembecki. Wanted to go high post, but both Englert and Carr had vacated. Pull up from Murdoch off the heel. Englert comes away with the ball for the Bulldogs.
Well, that could have changed the momentum of the game right there if Murdoch was able to knock that one down just a hair too strong.
Yeah, great look for him. And on the other end, Torres leaves that three a bit short. Rebounded by Taylor. Taylor knocking on double-double territory now. 11 points, 8 boards in this one. Floater high off the window, drops in for Reeder, who puts himself into double figures on the night and makes this a 11-point game with still north of 6 minutes to go.
Almost had another over and back there.
And they do get a turnover nonetheless. Taylor with a steal, and Taylor can't finish it, but he'll have a chance at the line as Caleb Carr is going to be called for the blocking foul, and that is now Caleb's fourth.
Panthers have thrown a little bit of a press defense on the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs have not handled it well yet. Panthers with an opportunity to get within single digits if Taylor can make both these.
And now their starting point guard has 4 fouls as well when you talk about handling the pressure. Caleb Carr goes a long way to successfully doing that, but he has picked up, oh wait, they called that on Grossner?
They did. Called it on Grossner.
Well, that's a big break for Baldwin, as it's only number 2 on Grossner as opposed to number 4 on Caleb Carr. So that is significant.
Huge. Can't tell you how huge that is.
Taylor does make the first free throw. 12 points tonight. But in and out on the second attempt. Ten-point game. Baldwin yet to score in this fourth quarter. Now 2 minutes played.
And the Bulldogs will be in no hurry to go at the basket. They want to take as much time off the clock as possible while getting a good shot afterwards.
In that awkward phase, an awkward moment in a game where you don't want to just take the life out of your offense, but at the same time, like you're saying, you certainly don't want to just go helter-skelter and add possessions to this game. The fewer possessions remaining, the better if you're Baldwin. But sometimes when you start slowing the thing up and taking some air out of the basketball, you take all the momentum, all the rhythm out of your offense, and you struggle to find points. So far, Baldwin now 2.5 minutes into the quarter yet to score. Carr into the corner to Cooper Carr. Out to Zembecki. He's been the man all night, but not that time. Offensive rebound for Darnell. And now they'll run some more clock. Blocking foul. Carr has been called for 3 charges tonight. This time it goes the other way on Landon Taylor, his third.
Panthers running out of time, down 10 with 5 to go. Panthers need to be a little more aggressive defensively.
6th team foul, so both teams now will be in the bonus the rest of the way on the next foul by either team. This is the freshman Cooper Carr with the ball. Gives it up to his senior brother Caleb. Dangerous pass to the elbow to Darnell. Into traffic, ripped away, loose still, but picked up by Grossner, and then he's fouled by Reeder. So that will put Grossner at the line for a 1-and-1 on the 7th team foul charged to Paola. Riker a season ago was the Bulldogs' top free throw shooter at 79%.
These are huge free throw, a huge one-on-one right here, like you said, for Grossner. It'd be the first points of the fourth quarter for the Bulldogs if he's able to knock one down, maybe two.
Baldwin leading by 10. They trailed by 6 after 1. Grossner unable to hit the front end. And a jump ball. It will be Paola basketball as Cooper Carr trying to get an offensive rebound. Ends up good effort, but Paola basketball and a Paola timeout. So 45-35. The Baldwin lead is 10 with still 4:43 left to play in this ball game as we take a look at the upcoming broadcast schedule here on Baldwin Sports Live. Next Tuesday, the Bulldogs hit the road for the first time as they take on Anderson County. 6 o'clock scheduled tip time for the girls. The boys game will follow, of course. Start times for the broadcasts, they're flexible, we'll say, this time of year because we have to always wait for the JV game to conclude. So you never quite know when we'll be going on the air, but it'll be in that range of anywhere between 5:45 and 6 o'clock or so. We'll be on the air Tuesday night in Garnett, Baldwin at Anderson County, and then Friday next week, the Dogs back home to take on Burlington. Our upcoming schedule, find it in the Baldwin City Community Newspaper. Subscribe for just $5 a month, or even better than that right now. Go ask them about their holiday special. Stop by downtown at the Nook, 703 8th Street to subscribe to your local weekly newspaper, the Baldwin City Community News, for all the latest news, opinion, sports, ads, and more. Well, we are on the Baldwin Sports Live broadcast channel tonight. I know we're simulcasting over on the Paola Sports Live channel, so I don't have a graphic to show you the Paola Sports Live upcoming broadcast. But since we've got you all here, we will let you know they are going to be at home next week, of course, with their home tournament. It's annually this time of the year, and you can catch those games on the Paola Sports Live channel next week, starting with the Perry-Lecompton games for both the boys and the girls on Tuesday night.
Absolutely, and that tournament's always fun to start the year. Really get your legs under you during that tournament.
Taylor's 3 off the mark, and a foul by Richmond. He is out of the game. That's his 5th. So the 6'3 junior, 2 points, 4 rebounds tonight, an assist as well, but he will head to the bench. It's been a frustrating night for Richmond. He's just not been able to stay on the floor long enough to get in any type of a rhythm. He picked up 2 first-quarter fouls, and it's just been an uphill climb for Eli Richmond all night, battling the foul issues, and he exits for the final time with his 5th foul there. It'll put Sam Darnell at the line for the Bulldogs, a 1-1.
It's unfortunate, like you said, for Richmond. Just really couldn't get in the flow of things with those fouls. But a big miss right there from Darnell.
Baldwin 4 out of 10 at the line. They are keeping that door open for Paola. And Baldwin has still not scored in this 4th quarter as we have nearly exhausted half of the period. But Paola has only scored 4 points. So they've had an opportunity to chip away, but they have done very little chipping so far. The 14-point deficit has only been cut to 10 with now half the quarter gone. Troutman bodied up by Cooper Carr, and the freshman's night is over as he fouls out here with 3:58 to play. And it started on the opening possession of the game with a bucket from Cooper Carr. And that would be all for him tonight. Just 2 points and the 1 assist for Carr as he, like Richmond, has been battling foul trouble all night long.
And like you said, just two players tonight that really couldn't get any rhythm whatsoever, being in foul trouble most of the night. It looked like Cooper Carr was going to have a sensational debut to start the game with that first bucket, like you said. But then all of a sudden, here came the fouls, just left and right, left and right.
And you see the potential in the ceiling there with the young man. A freshman getting to start here on opening night. And Donnie Blanchett, head coach of the Bulldogs, a lot of faith in the sophomore to give him that honor to start here on opening night. And he's going to have some big games before this season's said and done. Just got to stay out of the foul trouble. Missed free throw, long rebound, tapped out to Torres, and another empty trip and missed opportunity for Paola. Grossner is fouled by Troutman, so back to the line we go with 3:50 to play.
Just just unlucky for the Panthers in this game, really, but especially here in the fourth quarter, gets given time and time again, opportunity after opportunity, just can't do anything with it. Baldwin's been very porous in this fourth quarter, but it has not come back to bite him just yet.
Another miss, but another offensive board by Darnell, who's up to a team-high 8 rebounds in the contest. And a foul on Taylor, who picks up his 4th. That is the 10th team foul on Paola, so double bonus time for the Bulldogs, who have not been good like their girls' counterpart. They struggled at the line. The girls earlier tonight for Baldwin, just 12 out of 25 at the stripe. Baldwin on the boys' side now 4 out of 11. And Darnell is called for a lane violation as he backed off the lane.
And I was getting ready to say, if there's one guy you do want at the line for the Bulldogs, it's your senior leader, Caleb Carr, but of course, a mistake by Darnell.
So Caleb will get one opportunity instead, and he does convert that one opportunity. A dozen points in this one tonight from Caleb. It is 46-35 with 3.5 to go. Reeder is fouled, so more free throws. This game has come to a grinding halt here in the fourth quarter, as I feel like we are just trading trips to the free throw line all of a sudden.
Yeah, these last 30 seconds of game time, both teams have been to the line 2 or 3 times in 30 seconds. It really puts the game in a stalemate, like you said. But fortunately, again, for the Bulldogs, it has not bit them yet because Paola has not been able to capitalize on the opportunities that Baldwin has given them, as it looks like we have another player foul out. It's Darnell.
Yep, Darnell exits with his 5th foul. Just 1 point tonight for Sam. And that was at the free throw line early in the first quarter, but he pulled down a team-high 8 rebounds, dished out a team-high tying 4 assists as well. But opportunity continues to knock, and there continues to not be an answer to said knock for Paola as they are unable to capitalize here at the free throw line. Reeder misses the first, second free throw on the way. That is a miss as well. So Baldwin 5 of 12, Paola now 4 of 11 at the free throw line.
It has not been a very good free throw shooting night for either team on either level, girls or boys, in this game. It's certainly a key point for the coaches to look at going into next week, free throw shooting.
And that will spell the end of the night for Landon Taylor as he picks up his 5th foul. Well, Taylor with a dozen points and 8 rebounds tonight. Fouls out with 3:22 to go. Leading scorer in the game for Paola. Caden Cohey replaces him. And it's Riker Grossner who will toe the free throw line once again. Riker knocked down 79% of his free throws a year ago, but he's 1 of 3 in this one, including now 0 for 3 in the fourth quarter.
Boy, it's been some shaky, heavy-legged free throws, especially here in the fourth quarter.
You ain't lying.
From both teams.
And McLaughlin left early, so Grossner makes one, but it doesn't count.
Don't you just love basketball, how that works? Man. When you make a free throw, your teammate makes a mistake by committing a lane violation.
So the score remains 46-35. Just 4 fourth quarter points for Paola, only 1 fourth quarter point for Baldwin as Mbeki is called for the travel and got up off the deck after picking up the ball on the floor. So it will not be a fourth quarter to write home about.
No.
Grandma won't be saving the highlights from this fourth quarter of the broadcast, but if you're Baldwin right now, you're glad to be up by 11. If you're Paola right now, you're asking yourself, man, what could have been in this fourth quarter where Baldwin has really struggled on the offensive side and can't make a free throw, and now a turnover as Reeder crashed himself up that time.
Uh-oh, looks like we got locked up here.
Well, we're going to continue on here, and I'll see if it looks like the video's still rolling on the stream. Maybe no, it's not either. So yeah, I'm not sure what happened to our stream here. Good news is for the fans, you're not really missing much action right now because it has become a walk to one side, shoot free throws, walk to the other side, shoot free throws. This is J.J. Crawford who picked up a foul, so it's Grossner back to the line for 2 more shots. And yeah, I'm not sure exactly where our and another miss. Video feed is gone for us here. Grossner does make the second. I'm continuing on as if you perhaps can hear me. I don't think you can see much video, but maybe you still hear us.
As long as they got something, it's better than nothing.
2:50 left to play. It's a 47-35 Baldwin lead. The Bulldogs force a turnover only to give it back in transition as Carr's bounce pass to Grossner fumbled out of bounds. Now the clock is moving. The scoreboard is operating, but yeah, the whole camera as a whole is just
locked up.
We're going to restart this bad boy and see what happens.
Boy, this is. If you were looking,
go ahead and say it.
If you were looking for some good-looking basketball tonight, this fourth quarter is not it. If I'm both coaches, I'd take this fourth quarter tape and just throw it away. No need to look at it. It has been some ugly, ugly basketball in this fourth quarter, both sides.
McLaughlin will go to the free throw line after the foul on Cohey. Garrett McLaughlin looking for his first points. The sophomore played a few minutes a year ago, got into some action sparingly towards the end of the season. Did not score, however. He has now. And the student section, they're all about it. 48-35 Baldwin with 2:23 to go. Cohey stripped by Carr, taken away by Baldwin. Our camera has played its last series, it looks like. It has gone to the graveyard, so we don't have video, we do have audio, and we also have a 3-second violation here called on the Bulldogs' Garrett McLaughlin.
I think the camera's saying, boy, I haven't seen this bad basketball in a long time.
It won't even like power on or off, so I don't know what is going on with the camera.
It has hit the fritz.
But the scoreboard camera is still working, so you can see the score and the clock. That's accurate. Taylor working on the right lane line. Bounce into Cohey, deflected and stolen. Zembecki, lead pass up to Grossner, lays it in for the Bulldogs to go up 50-35 with 1:42 to play. Troutman back the other way for Paola. Top of the key, gives to Osborne. Now it's Murdoch from straight on. 3-pointer short, rebounded by Caleb Carr. And the Bulldogs with 90 seconds to go, up by 15. Looking to put the finishing touches on a season-opening victory. They have been handed a season-opening loss each of the last 2 years by Paola. The Panthers have won 12 of the last 13 head-to-head against the Bulldogs. But for just the second time since 2014, it looks like the Bulldogs are going to get the best of the Paola Panthers tonight. Pass deflected out of bounds with 1:08 left to play, and a timeout taken by Baldwin. So we're going to step aside here for a moment as well and see if perhaps we can revive the camera, bring it back from the dead. Don't get your hopes up. Back in a moment here on Baldwin Sports Live, presented by Hayden Outdoors.
Hayden Outdoors Real Estate has proudly been serving the Midwest since 1976, covering 29 states and over $1.3 billion in annual sales. Shad and Penny Sheldon are some of the top producing brokers from Baldwin City, Kansas, selling farms, ranches, rural homes, and recreational real estate throughout Kansas. Their knowledge, passion, and expertise will help make your next real estate transaction an excellent experience. Contact Shad or Penny today by phone at 785-821-2666 or by email at shad@haydenoutdoors.com.
Thank you. Can I help you?
We have life. The camera is back with 1:08 to play here in the fourth quarter. A 50-35 Baldwin lead as the Bulldogs are in route to a victory, it would seem, tonight. This second half has just been a half. The ball has not bounced Paola's way inside. McLaughlin on the feed by Torres lays it up and in. That's 3 fourth-quarter points now from McLaughlin. It's a 7-0 Baldwin run. And with under a minute to go, the lead is 17. Now McLaughlin trying to get on the floor and force a turnover, and does. Ryan Oshel will empty the rest of the bench here. Jasper Logan, Jace Curley, and Fisher Woolsey check in for Paola. With 50 seconds left to play.
It's just been one of those games for the Panthers. Just nothing going their way. They had so many opportunities to have stickbacks, so many offensive rebounds, especially in the second half. Just nothing went down. It's just one game you got to learn from and move on to your next one in your tournament starting next week.
Yeah, you'll get 3 games next week, so.
And those 3 opponents will be Perry, Lecompton, Wellsville, and Fort Scott.
So you get a young team. When I say young, it's not that they're all underclassmen young, but young in terms of varsity experience for Paola. Trial by fire. Put them right in there and play. They're going to end up playing about 4 games in a week's time as Carr gets fouled on the drive. He'll go to the line with 30 seconds left. So nothing like finding your way by taking live action, and that's what they're going to do. And the Baldwin, meanwhile, this is a team that has high expectations this year after a 6-win improvement from 2020 to 2021, and now here in 2022. They're going to start out 1-0 and look to continue to build off that big improvement from a year ago with 4 of their 5 starters back. And some nice bench pieces as well. Tonight has been a mixed bag of sorts for the Bulldogs. It's kind of grinded to an end here as Carr makes the first free throw, and now on the second one, puts that one in as well. He's up to 14 points in the game. But you have seen the potential out of this team with the hot stretch of three-point shooting and the aggressive defensive play that has resulted in a number of Paola turnovers, up to 17 for the ball game.
And that's something you don't want to do right there. Foul with 20 seconds to go, up 19 points. If Paola wants to shoot a shot up, you might as well just let him do it. You don't want to contest something right there.
Yep.
And give Paola at least a little bit of like, hey, we scored before the end of the game. But it's just not good. Not good basketball IQ right there. Let's just say that.
Bulldogs and Panthers have both struggled at the free throw line in this game. But it'll feel worse for Paola as their struggles are going to come in what will be a loss. The Bulldogs will overcome their free throw woes. Nye out of the corner, misses the 3. McLaughlin and Carr battling for the rebound. It goes out off of Carr, so it's Paola basketball with 7 seconds to go. And we'll see if the Panthers can get one more shot hoisted up here in the final seconds, or whether they just will hold it. That's what they'll do. It's a final here in Baldwin tonight, 54-36. The Baldwin Bulldogs, for the second time in the last 8 years, defeat the Paola Panthers. 54-36 your final. We're back to wrap it all up for you on the post-game show, including our Farm Bureau Financial Services Player of the Game coming up in 1 minute.
With Heartland Plumbing, you get full-service plumbing from a real plumber, not a sales guy who's just there to fix a leak. Heartland Plumbing sets appointments they hold true to, not an inconvenient block of time they might be there. With a strong reputation and years of quality service, Heartland Plumbing has the tools and the people to get your plumbing job done on time the first time. Give them a call at 913-856-5846. Serving every big town and small town around, residential and commercial. That's Heartland Plumbing, the plumber you can open your door to.
Hayden Outdoors Real Estate has proudly been serving the Midwest since 1976, covering 29 states and over $1.3 billion in annual sales. Chad and Penny Sheldon are some of the top producing brokers from Baldwin City, Kansas, selling farms, ranches, rural homes, and recreational real estate throughout Kansas. Their knowledge, passion, and expertise will help make your next real estate transaction an excellent experience. Contact Chad or Penny today by phone at 785-821-2666 or by email at shad@haydenoutdoors.com.
54-36, your final tonight. The Baldwin Bulldogs win both the girls and the boys game. A great opening night here in Baldwin as the girls won earlier 43-36 and the boys make it 54-36 in the nightcap. It's time to name tonight's Farm Bureau Financial Services Player of the Game, and it is Joey Zimbecki. Where would the Bulldogs be without him tonight? 18 points off of the bench, a pair of assists and a rebound as well. Joey Zimbecki, tonight's Farm Bureau Financial Services Player of the Game. From insurance to investments, wealth management, and financial planning, Farm Bureau Financial Services is there to help you protect what matters most. Call today and set up a meeting with your local Farm Bureau team at 785-594-1055. It's your future. Let's protect it. Joey Zimbecki, the junior, debuts with a career-high 18 points. Tonight's Farm Bureau Financial Services Player of the Game. Your final stats coming up right after this. You're watching Bulldog Basketball presented by Hayden Outdoors on Baldwin Sports Live.
Dr. Philip Harvey at Oral Surgery Kansas is a proud supporter of the Baldwin Bulldogs. Dr. Harvey and his staff wish all of the Bulldogs the best of luck this year as you continue to make Baldwin City proud. Oral Surgery Kansas provides personalized, gentle, comprehensive patient care for a wide range of oral surgery procedures. To learn more, visit oralsurgerykansas.com or call 785-843-5490. Oral Surgery Kansas, cheering on the Baldwin Bulldogs.
For unbeatable service from a company you can trust, there's only one choice. Clint Davis and the One Choice Heating and Air Conditioning team have the expertise you need when it comes to the comfort of your family. Not only will they get the job done right, but they'll explain the preventative maintenance needed to avoid those costly emergency repairs. To schedule a free quote, call 785-393-9329 and join the Preferred Maintenance Club for special discounts. One Choice Heating and Air Conditioning, the one and only choice for the comfort of your family.
Bulldogs winners on opening night, 54-36 over the Paola Panthers as they trailed by 6 at the end of the first quarter in this game tonight, Baldwin did. But then they had a huge second quarter, 23-13 second quarter advantage for Baldwin, with 14 of those 23 points coming from tonight's player of the game, Joey Zimbecki, and that gave the Bulldogs a 4-point lead by the half. They extended that up to a 14-point lead going into the fourth quarter, and while offense was tough to come by in the fourth quarter, they didn't score until there was about 3.5 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter, and they only made one field goal in the fourth quarter, but they were able to hold on to win this game because they only gave up 5 points in that fourth quarter as well. And they win at 54-36 tonight. 2 ties, 2 lead changes. And the Bulldogs are 1-0 after beating Paola for just the second time in the last 14 meetings, going back to the start of the 14-15 season. And that's a nice way to open up the new campaign for the Bulldogs. Let's check the numbers, brought to you by New Frontier Tax and Business Services at 608 High Street in Baldwin City, where they'll help you confidently tackle tax season, even the highly specific situations. They'll help make sense of it all and meet your critical business needs with minimal investment, timely, accurate, and reliable services at an affordable cost to help your business grow and succeed. Visit newfrontiertbs.com or call 785-594-1204 to learn more. For the visiting Panthers, 2 guys in double figures tonight. Landon Taylor with 12, Patrick Reeder with 11. And the rest of the scoring, J.J. Crawford with 1, Jet Osborne with 8, Micah Sanders with 2, and Eli Richmond with 2. Taylor pulled down a team-high 8 rebounds. Jet Osborne and Patrick Reeder each added 5. And it was Eli Richmond with 1 assist, Patrick Reeder with 1 assist. Tied for the team lead there for Paola. For Baldwin, leading scorer tonight, Joey Zimbecki, came off the bench in this one, and boy did he ever. 18 points from Zimbecki, with 14 of it coming in that big second quarter to help turn the tide in this one for the Bulldogs. He's the game's leading scorer tonight, 18 points to go along with 2 assists and 1 rebound. Caleb Carr also into double figures to start the season, 14 points. It was a bit of a frustrating night to start. 2 early fouls for Carr, picked up 2 charges in the first quarter, sat most of the second quarter, got it going though in the second half as he scores 12 of his 14 in the second half, including 5 assists in the second half as well. and all 3 of his rebounds came in the second half. Or not 5 assists total, not all came in the second half, but still a very good game overall for Carr, 14, 5, and 3. He and Zambaki, the 2 guys in double figures tonight. Talon Torres matched a career high with 8 points tonight. Riker Grosner with 4. And Garrett McLaughlin with his first 3 points as a Bulldog, the sophomore. Sam Darnell with 1 point tonight. And Cooper Carr, the freshman debut for Cooper, started out with a bucket of the opening possession. That would be the only bucket before he fouled out of this game, but a 2.1 assist debut for Cooper Carr in this one. Leading rebounder was Sam Darnell, pulled down 8 boards tonight for the Dogs. And Grosner and added 4. Carr and Torres added 3 apiece. It was Caleb Carr's 5 assists leading the way for the Bulldogs. 54-36, that's your final here from Baldwin tonight, and that will wrap things up for us. Thanks so much for joining us here this evening. Thanks to the Paola crowd for having us on their broadcast as well on the simulcast here this evening. As Baldwin wins both games here tonight. The girls winners earlier tonight, 43-36 for Baldwin, and the boys cap it off with a 54-36 Baldwin win in the nightcap. We're back on the air next Tuesday as the Bulldogs hit the road for the first time in the new season. They travel to Garnett to take on the Anderson County Bulldogs. We'll have it all for you right here. Girls game scheduled to start at 6 o'clock. We'll be on the air around 5:45 or whenever that JV game concludes prior to it. So join us for that one here on your home for the Bulldogs. Baldwin Sports Live, presented by Hayden Outdoors. Thanks to Caleb Butler for running the camera and providing the color for us tonight from the Paola Sports Live channel. I'm Bryce Kessler saying good night from Baldwin, where the Baldwin girls win at 43-36 and the Baldwin boys 54-36 winners over Paola on opening night.
You've been watching Baldwin Sports Live, presented by Hayden Outdoors Real Estate, the brand that sells the land. Learn more at HaydenOutdoors.com. Baldwin Sports Live also brought to you by Farm Bureau Financial Services, Kelly Neufeld, Baldwin State Bank, Codiano State Farm Insurance, Heartland Plumbing, Lamb Roberts Price Funeral Home, One Choice Heating and Air Conditioning, Trindle Lumber Company, Oral Surgery Kansas, Hers Incorporated, Rice Precision Manufacturing, The Bullpen, Baldwin City Recreation Commission, New Frontier Tax and Business Services, the Lumberyard Arts Center, Jobats, Baldwin City Community Newspaper, and by the Baldwin City Chamber of Commerce. This is Baldwin Sports Live.